Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Naruto thrown into a weird world and being turned into a devil part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. Kurama, you big fuzzball, I swear Kami loves to screw with me, Naruto thinks to himself. Kid, I may just agree with you. In my thousands of years, this is unbelievable, Kurama says back. And yes, so that's how it is, a high-pitched friendly voice says in front of him. His eyes refocus on the abomination in front of him. A 5 feet 3 inches girl with light brown hair and pigtails wearing a pink costume that hurts his eyes looking at. He would label her a child, if not for her massive chest, and every time she spins she gives him a clear view of his panties. I'm sorry, but can you repeat that? Slowly he says very calmly as he stares at the admittedly attractive woman in front of him. Too bad that is literally the last thing on his mind. She pouts cutely at him. Okay, maybe it is further up there than I thought, he silently admits. Can you please focus? You can pev later, Kurama says annoyed. Yes, this girl definitely puts almost all the girls in the elemental nations to shame, but it isn't the time. I am not pervy sage, damn it, he says with a grit of his teeth. You aren't that smart, are you? She questions with a tilt of her head. He says with a bit of annoyance while Kurama starts laughing loudly. Just waking up and he is already being called an idiot. Well, long story short, you suddenly fell from the sky, were severely wounded, and I decided to save your life by turning you into a devil. Specifically, my queen. You are my first piece, I am so excited. The fun times we will have, fufu, the girl says with a dark chuckle. Her sister gets an ominous feeling and quickly looks over her shoulder for her sister. She narrows her eyes and determines that she may have just imagined it. Regardless, she will be placing more wards to protect her bedroom. Kurama, would I have survived without being turned? Naruto asks. I think so. You are too stubborn to die, Kurama snorts. Naruto mentally chuckles. You turned me into a devil? I don't feel too different, he says as he looks down at his naked torso and pats his head looking for horns. Duh. We are pretty similar to humans except we have wings and magic, she says as her wings pop out. They resemble bat wings from back home. Naruto feels for his own and suddenly they pop out of his back and he can move them a bit. Whoa, this is weird, Naruto says in a bit of awe. I mean, he can fly with Sage of Six Paths chakra, but wings are cool too. Yup. You can fly now too. Pretty cool, right? She says with a smile. Well, thanks, I guess. Anyways, I owe you one for trying to help me, Naruto says with a smile. He can tell her intentions were mostly pure in helping him and is privately surprised that a devil can have good intentions. Though, it isn't that big of a shock as people called Kurama a demon, and he was just misunderstood. No problemo. Now there are several things you need to know as my first servant, but we can worry about that later, she says quickly as she walks toward the door. Naruto doesn't react visibly, but mentally he is freaking out. Did she just tell me I am her devil servant now? Oh, hell no! Naruto mentally screams. Kid, if you willingly be a servant, I will force myself out of here and kill you. No one gets to use my power for themselves except you, Kurama says seriously. Naruto sends him a mental image of him hugging the fox, getting a gag in response. Come down, and we can discuss this all over lunch, the girl says with a smile. She closes the door and Naruto lets out a sigh of relief and frustration. Naruto gets up and dresses himself. He decides to not think about who stripped him and washed him as it is better for his sanity. He walks over to the window and he gasps slightly. Kurama, the sky is purple, Naruto thinks. Yes, I see that, kid. Kurama, what am I going to do now? Naruto thinks to himself as he looks out the window. Well, for starters, get away from the crazy girl that is going to make you her slave. We can worry about the rest later. Yes, you're right. Let's just focus on the present, Naruto says as he takes a deep breath. He mentally takes stock of his body, which is mostly healed, and his power levels are back around 50%. My power levels are around Isabu right now, even though you took back my other half. Surviving in that portal Kaguya sent you through really took it out of me, Kurama says to him. Naruto creates a clone who walks out the door toward the girl, whose name he still doesn't know, and he opens the window. Deciding not to risk using his wings now, he uses chakra and walks down the wall quickly. Using his stealth skills he developed from running from his ANBU, he makes his way to the forest without being seen. He makes 50 clones who know to run and create false trails while also trying to find out any other information they can. Naruto takes off, determined to get as far away from here as possible. No need for the crazy girl in that horrid outfit to find him again. And so that's the basic overview of the history of devils and what a peerage is. Now, since I am a foreign relations Mao, you will have to do other tasks like help me take care of my sister, do paperwork that I don't want to, and if you are lucky, help fulfill my needs. Seraphol says with a cheerful smile. Naruto takes a moment to digest the information and stands up facing her. Well, Seraphol Leviathan, this all sounds very interesting, but I am going to have to decline. Thanks for the help. Goodbye, he says with a wave before disappearing in a puff of smoke. Where did my hot queen go? She says frantically while searching the room. She then expands her senses and can't feel his presence anywhere. Her smile quickly fades and she gets an angry tick above her eyebrow. Naruto! She yells and eyes quickly covers the entire room. All the maids and workers throughout the house can instantly feel a difference in temperature. They all quickly make themselves scarce, not wanting to be near an angry Seraphol. Well shit, I already have enemies, Naruto says with a sigh. Clearly, this world is as messed up as the shinobi and might be even more so. Get clone memories back? Kurama questions. Yup, and apparently, there are two other factions named Fallen Angels and Angels, who devils have fought a major war against, who kill devils and have weapons of light that are extremely dangerous. Then you have the old Mao faction of devils that only like pure blood devils that would try to kill me, and since I ran away from my master, all devils are supposed to kill me on sight, Naruto thinks with an eye roll. He isn't terribly worried because he doubts anything can be harder than fighting Obito, then Madara, then Kagaya. Wow, Kit. You basically are a missing nin now. Sure as hell better than a slave. Definitely have to get more information, Naruto thinks with a sigh. Only two good things have come out of this so far. One is that he gets magic and a much sturdier body, and two is that he gets to live for thousands of years. Orochimaru, he is going to be the one to learn all the jutsus. How are you going to learn all the jutsus when you are stuck in an alternate dimension? Dumbass Kurama responds dryly. A fuzz butt. Don't you remember they kept me out of the war to learn more? And that I stored everything the Kage gave me in a seal on my arm? Naruto questions smugly. You're still an idiot. Going to recover my strength, Kurama says before he falls asleep. That damn fox, I'll have to kick his ass again for that, Naruto grumbles. He then starts daydreaming of all the jutsu and cool stuff he can learn and how he is going to shove it into Sasuke's face. His mood immediately sours when he thinks of Sasuke and the rest of the people back home. He knows Sasuke can stop the infinite Sayukami, so at least there is that. He did bring them peace, or at least he hopes he did. Without the Rinne Sharingan, however, getting back is impossible. Damn Kagaya, that spiteful bitch. He receives another clone's memories about finding a city, but he decides to keep going as far away as possible. The city would be the first place anyone would look, and the number one unpredictable knucklehead ninja does not do the obvious. She is running with all her might through a forest, not minding the explosions happening near her, as she is only trying to reach safety. She looks up at the dark sky and sees a light spear heading right at her. She jumps out of the way at the last second, barely avoiding being skewered. She rolls on the ground and immediately picks herself up, not heeding her tired muscles calling for rest. Ho ho, look at that Zadlas. It seems we have quite the spry little devil tonight, one of the two fallen angels calls out. It seems you are right, Tabiel. There is nothing better than a devil hunt with a devil that doesn't give up. Makes the ending so much sweeter, Zadlas calls out with a sneer. Shame, if she was only a couple years older then maybe we could have some fun with her before we kill her, Tabiel says with a sigh. He can tell that the silver-haired girl below will be quite the beauty even amongst devils and fallen angels. A shudder runs through the girl when she hears him say that. She can only be thankful that they aren't pedophile fallen angels. She glances back at the six-winged and four-winged angel and curses. They are casually floating behind her with light spears in their hands, just laughing and enjoying hunting her. If they were two-winged maybe she would have a shot, but not against such beings when she has been non-stop running for 2 days. Zadlas, we should end this soon as I am getting bored. Besides, I am dying to check out that new brothel in town, Tabiel says as he keeps his eyes on the girl below. The excitement of the chase has dulled after 20 minutes, and now he just wants to get laid. I went there last night with a couple others. A couple of those bitches really know their way around a dick. Ask for Roxy, Zadlas says with a perverted grin as he remembers last night. Truly worth every cent. As if I want any of your sloppy seconds, Zadlas. I'd rather not catch a disease, Tabiel says with a laugh, and Zadlas glares at him. He throws a spear down below at the girl, who dodges, and he lets out an irritated TSK. Shut it, Tabby. Besides, it'd be more like sloppy 1000s with one of those girls, Zadlas says as he throws his 2 spears. One of them nicks the girl, and she lets out a cry of pain as she falls down. She has a nasty gash on her arm as the 2 fallen fly down to the ground near her. She tries to stand up, but her legs give out on her, so all she can do is sit on the ground glaring at those two asshole fallen. Well, for such an entertaining night we will give you a quick death. And my name is Tabiel, dammit! The six-winged angel yells, getting a snicker from his friend. He creates a light spear, much larger than any of the ones he has thrown tonight, and she knows she is dead. Well, this has been a shitty life. Only wish I got to kill my father, she thinks to herself as she closes her eyes. She waits for her annihilation, but she hears an explosion nearby instead. She opens her eyes and sees that she is now in the hands of a young blonde with extremely blue eyes and whisker marks. Hey there, Oju-chan. You don't have to worry anymore. I won't let anyone harm you, he says and gives her a bright smile. Tears pour out of her eyes and the blonde faces the two fallen. Please explain why you miserable crows were attacking and about to kill a child, Naruto says with his eyes turning cold. Both fallen are instantly on guard as they never sensed him. What's it to you, devil scum? We need no reason to wipe out a devil, Zadlas sneers. Well, if that's the case, then you won't mind if I retaliate, Naruto says with a smile that doesn't reach his eyes. He throws a kunai and flips through several hand signs. Ninja art, shuriken, shadow, clone jutsu, he yells out, making the one kunai become hundreds. Their eyes widening, they close their wings around themselves and harden them with their mana, having the kunai bounce off harmlessly. Retracting his wings, Tabiel yells, "This is pathetic, you low-class scum," before seeing several Narutos running at him with blue orbs that promised pain in his hand. Both fallen take to the sky, throwing light spear after light spear, but can't seem to hit a single one. Naruto jumps up holding the sphere outstretched toward the four-winged angel. Zadlas throws a light spear, thinking he has got an easy hit, but the blue orb grinds away the light spear to nothing, leaving him shocked for a moment, making him unable to avoid the attack. Rasengan! Naruto yells out as the blue ball grinds away at Zadla's stomach and tears through his back. Naruto pulls out his hand quickly, getting hit by a light spear from the side by Tabiel, who is pretty pissed about his friend's death. Unfortunately for Tabiel, the Naruto that he hit was only a clone that disappears in a puff of smoke. Tabiel, with anger in his eyes, summons hundreds of light spears behind him, determined to kill this devil. With a flick of his wrist he sends them crashing down at Naruto and a few at the young devil girl, certain that this is the end for them. Naruto, however, calmly flips through four hand seals, slams his hand on the ground and says, "Earth release." Mud wall and a giant 20-foot high by 4 feet thick wall appears in front of them. Naruto then hops up on the wall and throws another kunai at the fallen angel, who plans to bat it aside easily. Right before it hit, however, it transforms into Naruto, who is grinning, and he releases a devastating punch right in the man's face. Before he falls, however, he also attaches 2 paper bombs onto the fallen. What the hell are these? Tabiel asks, eyeing the paper warily. When he sees Naruto have a grin on his face and his hand in another strange position, he immediately has a premonition to get rid of the paper. Too late. Katsu, Naruto says, and Tabiel is engulfed in an explosion. He falls out of the sky and lands on the ground, his body burnt, and definitely in a lot of pain. Naruto appears right in front of him, surprised that he is still alive. Wow, to tank 2 B-level paper bombs from point blank and survive. Must be the supernatural body, Naruto muses to himself as Tabiel tries to pull himself off the ground. Fuck you, you son of a bitch, Tabiel spits out, and all of a sudden, he can't breathe and he sees countless images of his death. He desperately grasps at his throat with his hands, but finds nothing blocking his throat. Looking up, he sees anger in the cold orbs of the blonde devil that made his night hell. Nobody insults my Ka-chan. Rasengan! He yells as he drives it into the fallen's head, blood spattering everywhere. Naruto looks up and nods to himself. His mother's honor is protected. He glances back at the young girl he saved, with her eyes looking at him with wariness, hope, and acceptance of her fate, whatever it may be. He gives her a soft smile as he walks over to her, his clones from the battle cleaning up any evidence that happened the best they can. See? I told you that I would protect you, Naruto says with a smile. The girl nods her head slightly. Why don't we introduce ourselves? My name is Uzumaki Naruto. I am 17 years old and I like ramen, my precious people, training, traveling, and ramen again. I hate the 3 minutes it takes to make instant ramen, assholes who pick on children, rapists, and loneliness. My dream, well, I don't really know what my dream is anymore, he says a little tiredly at the end. He looks at her expectantly, and she realizes that she is supposed to do the same thing. Hello, my name is Valet El Lucifer, she says, and searches his face for any signs of a reaction. Surprisingly, she found a bit, but no hatred, just curiosity. I am 12 years old and I like my Ka-chan and Albion. I hate my father and grandfather. My dream, at least right now, is to find somewhere safe, she mumbles out as she hasn't really given it any thought. Naruto grimaces as he can see a lot of himself in this 12-year-old girl. Only around 4 feet 4 inches with light silver hair and hazel eyes, with signs clear to him of physical and emotional abuse, he grips his fist and decides that he will do something for this girl. Well, Vala-chan, how about you spend the night camping with me and you can get a good night's sleep, Naruto offers her. She looks at him with a hint of suspicion, as so far, all the males in her life have hurt her, but she really doesn't have a choice. Reluctantly, she nods her head, making his smile get a tiny bit wider. Hop on my back and we can find some place safe for the night, or at least somewhere away from here, Naruto says as he bends down. She wraps her arms around his neck and legs around his waist, and he holds on to her legs. Hold on, he says before he starts dashing through the trees at an extremely fast pace, drawing a squeal of fear from Vala. He laughs as she tightens her grip and continues navigating through the forest with ease. Vala opens her eyes and sees everything around her in a blur. She idly wonders how the older blonde can see where he is going. He has trained his eyes for such speeds, a deep voice rumbles in her head. What do you think I should do, Albion? Vala asks, desperate for a bit of advice. The past few days have taken a toll on her, and she would be dead without Albion. I say don't trust him completely, but he doesn't seem to have bad intentions. At the very least, he is strong enough to kill those two Fallens easily and didn't react negatively to your name. I'd say stick with him for now, Albion says. Should I tell him about you? Don't. He might want to use you. Vala is brought out of her musings when Naruto stops running and finds herself still in the forest. Naruto bends down, and she jumps off him, wobbling a bit as she is extremely tired. Naruto creates 4 clones, who quickly get to work setting up a perimeter and camp. You can take the sleeping bag. I am fine with the ground, Naruto tells her, as she eyes the sleeping bag with longing. She glances back up him with a bit of suspicion, but the deal is too good to pass up. She quickly climbs in and within a minute is already asleep. And to think I was going to offer you dinner, Naruto says as he unseals a bowl of ramen that is still hot. Man, am I glad Ero-sen taught me how to seal hot foods so that they stay hot, he says before he dives into the food of the gods and mouse. Vala wakes up the next day super disoriented and confused. How did I get here? She asks herself before all her memories come rushing back to her. Widening her eyes, she looks around and down at herself. Relax. He did nothing to you last night, Albion says, making her breathe a sigh of relief. She might be young, but years of abuse makes your head jump to nasty ideas. She looks outside and sees her savior, Naruto, eating a bowl of some type of delicious-smelling food, and the sun is up high in the sky. Naruto's eyes brighten when he sees her, and he waves her over enthusiastically. She swiftly walks over to him, hoping that he will share at least a tiny portion of his food with her. She has gotten so hungry that her stomach won't even growl anymore. Good afternoon, Vala-chan. How are you feeling? Naruto asks. I'm fine, she states warily, still searching for his angle in all of this. Her eyes drop down to his food, something he recognizes. He opens a scroll and channels a bit of chakra to the seal, making another bowl appear in a puff of smoke. Vala's eyes widen as she has never seen such a thing before. Chairs and such, yes, but not food. Here you go, he says as he passes her the entire bowl along with a pair of chopsticks. She picks up the wooden sticks, not exactly sure how to use them. She watches Naruto eat with them and tries to copy him. Naruto silently chuckles to himself as he watches the girl try to eat. Still, he doesn't want to damage her pride, so he says nothing. They eat the rest of their meal in silence, both sitting on a log each contemplating the other. Naruto is saddened by how much her childhood resembles his own, at least in the body mannerisms. She at least has a mom, but it doesn't seem as if her mom could really help her. Vala, however, is becoming more and more perplexed by the blonde in front of her. Why would a 17-year-old reincarnated devil help her? Not being able to stand it anymore, she asks bluntly, why are you helping me? Naruto, a little caught off guard by the question, raises an eyebrow and asks, is it wrong of me to help a little girl when I see her in trouble? Vala frowns as she didn't get the answer she wanted. Maybe he simply believes that it was the right thing to do, Albion says. Vala shakes her head as she hasn't met anyone who would do that before from the limited amount she has. I don't believe you, Vala says, and Naruto frowns. Well, I guess I will have to convince you otherwise. Don't worry, I am stubborn, Naruto says with a smile. She just stares at him before looking away. Naruto rolls his eyes at the little girl in front of him. I guess she has experienced betrayal before, he thinks to himself. Well, Vala-chan, I am going to go train. Do you want to come with me? Naruto asks. Vala is hesitant at first, but Albion quickly encourages her to go with him. Albion, why did you want me to go? Vala asks as she rides on Naruto's back once again. Because hatchling, this is a prime opportunity to see how strong he is, Albion says to her. He admits he is curious as well as this man seems like he has to constantly suppress his inner aura. Naruto hops down from a tree and gains a mischievous smile on his face. He wants to awe the little girl with his powers. He hasn't been training the past 2 weeks to not show off his new skills. Besides, this one took him 2 weeks to get down, even with hundreds of clones, and he still can't do it close to the level of Madara. Curse that damn Uchiha. Want to see something cool? Naruto asks the girl. She timidly nods her head and Naruto starts flipping through hand signs. Another skill he has been working on vigorously. Fire style. Great fire annihilation, he shouts, and he releases a literal sea of fire. All the trees in front of him for 40 yards instantly turn to ash, and the next 10 yards afterward are bathed in a sea of flames. Vala's jaw is slightly hanging open as she couldn't hope to replicate that. Albion, however, scoffs as that type of fire would have happened by him sneezing. Still, for a non-dragon and 17-year-old, he will admit it isn't bad. Pretty cool, right? Still, it's not nearly to the level it should be. I can't do the attack justice quite yet, Naruto tells her with a grin. Vala shuts her jaw and nods begrudgingly, as it was cool to her. She hasn't been allowed to practice her magic or work with Albion because of her father. Naruto then holds his hands in a familiar hand sign and says Tajikage Bunshin no Jutsu. Suddenly the entire area surrounding them is covered in smoke, and when it clears, even Albion is impressed. Vala is speechless. There are hundreds of Naruto clones surrounding them. Naruto winks at Vala before facing his clones. Alright, first put out the fire, then get to practicing. 200 of you working on Kenjutsu, 200 working on the first stage of fire manipulation, 200 working on Fuinjutsu, 200 going through the Goken katas, and finally 200 working on damn chakra control. I get to do the fun stuff like physical training and figuring out magic, Naruto says with a cheer, causing many except the chakra control clones to snicker. Naruto pours some more chakra into his weights on his arms and legs, causing them to instantly get heavier. Uzumaki-san, what type of magic is that? Vala asks as her curiosity overtakes her hesitance. Albion eagerly listens on as well. It's not magic, but rather chakra. You see, I can split my chakra in half and produce 1 copy of me. I can split it into thirds and have 2 copies of me. This time I split it 1,000 times, and the best part is, everything they learn I do too. So, all those clones doing those drills is like me doing those drills. The only things they can't do to help me is physical training and magic, as they don't have magic in their bodies and a clone weightlifting won't build my muscles, Naruto explains with a proud smile. He is truly the unrivaled master at this jutsu, so it only makes sense if he knows all about it. It's not like it took him 3 years to figure out how to train with it. So you get 1001 days of training out of 1 day? Vala questions. At Naruto's nod, Albion starts laughing like mad. That may be the most OP technique I have ever heard of, he says laughing. He doesn't consider his techniques OP at all. They are all badass and totally normal. Now you can wait here, Vala-chan. I am going to start my training, he says as he starts running. Vala watches him run off and then starts walking among the clones, interested in what they are doing. Of course, she is keeping aware of her surroundings in case he turns on her, though she knows she wouldn't be able to do anything to him. The first group she looks at is the chakra control group, who are simply using leaves, sticking them in different places on their bodies and making them stick, along with spinning leaves on their fingertips while walking up trees. Each of the clones have a frown on their faces as they watch the others, probably because they deem their practice the boring one. While thinking that the walking up the trees is interesting, she doesn't really want to watch them just sit there. She walks over to another group who each have out scrolls and ink. They are painting symbols on the scrolls very fast and precisely. She thinks the symbols are beautiful, and again this blonde surprises her. Ask one of them what it's for, Albion says to her. Mustering up her courage, she walks up to one of the clones. Uzumaki-san, what is this for? She asks timidly, hoping to not be rebuked for interrupting like her father and grandfather would. None of this, Uzumaki-san or honorifics. Just call me Naruto, Vala-chan. This is Fuinjutsu, which is the principle of sealing. This type of jutsu is a rare one, but with it you can pretty do anything, from sealing away elements to creating a pocket dimension. It's a really neat trump card to have against opponents, the clone says as he continues to paint on the scroll. Vala jumps as an explosion engulfs one of the clones, while the others don't look fazed at all. If you happen to make a slight mistake and channel chakra into the seal, it usually blows up in your face. That's why boss only uses clones to practice Fuinjutsu, the clone says, unfazed by his brother's death. Ah, thank you, Naruto-san, Vala says, getting a slight glare. I mean Naruto. The clone gives her a smile. Vala, meanwhile, is slowly backing away from him, not wanting to die an early death. While it is cool, it seems like it's a little too dangerous for her there. Humph. That is such an unmanly way to fight, Albion says as she walks away. Clearly, he is still bitter about being sealed away by the biblical God. Though, he does begrudgingly admit its effectiveness. Vala then wanders over to the groups doing more physical exercises. Her eyes widen at the size of the sword, as it is easily the height of a fully grown man, and the way Naruto can casually swing it around with one hand. She sees some going through motions and others sparring with one another. He definitely isn't a master swordsman, but he isn't terrible either, Albion comments to give Vala some context to what she is seeing. Glancing over to the bare-handed Naruto clones, she sees them doing something similar to the sword-wielding ones. She can't follow most of the movements in the spars unfortunately, as they were moving at such a high speed. In reality, they were going slower to make sure they didn't accidentally pop one another. She finally travels over to the last group of clones, and sees each of them have a leaf in their hands and are staring at it intently. She walks up to one, a little more confident that she won't be hurt for interrupting, and asks, "Naruto, what are you doing?" "I am trying to start a fire in the middle of this leaf, and then control the fire from burning the rest of the leaf, and then having it slow burn for a minute," the clone says as he looks at Vala. "This is really hard. We have been at this for the past 2 days now, and no one has been able to even get the fire started in the middle yet. It helps make our fire jutsu more badass with less energy." Vala is slightly curious on how such a thing would make that happen, but decides to not bother the clone anymore. She doesn't want to overstay her welcome. She goes over to a tree and sits down against it, deciding to watch the Kenjutsu and Goken groups as they are the most interesting. She hears another explosion and slightly chuckles. The original Naruto comes running past her, giving her a foxy smile and a wave, before continuing his run. She relaxes slightly, and while she is still cautious, it seems that meeting Naruto may turn out to be a good thing. She will resign herself to be in his care for now. Only time will tell if that is a good decision. Azazel is at his desk slaving over paperwork that he has been putting off for the past couple weeks. It wasn't his fault that he got caught up in his sacred gear research, or at several bars picking up girls and the odd brothel. No! They tempted him into abandoning his duties, and he is sticking to that. His Vice-Governor-General, Shemhazai, dragged him here and told him to do all of it under pain of death. Needless to say, such a threat lit a proverbial fire under his ass, and he has been in here for the past 8 hours and he hasn't made a dent in it. Surely, this is his punishment from having sex with a human and falling. But seriously, how was he supposed to resist those Ape? Griping about how unfair the world is, he most assuredly did not scream like a little girl when a voice said "yo" right in front of him. Nope. He will deny that to his dying day. He jumps up, his wings spreading from his back, messing up his piles of paperwork, and 2 light spears form in his hands as he looks at the young blonde, whisker-marked boy in his office. The problem for Azazel was, he didn't sense him come in. Not at all. He could have been assassinated, and would have never known until it was too late. "Who are you?" he says seriously, flaring his power, but it doesn't affect the man at all. He flares it even more, making the room start to shake, but still the kid looks entirely unaffected. Clearly, he is pretty strong and skilled. Suddenly, the entire room goes completely dark and Azazel has all his senses heightened to the extreme. Then, a bright light focuses on the spot in front of him and sees the blonde in a strange pose. He isn't sure what to make of it, but it certainly doesn't look like a fighting stance. All throughout the nations, women talk of me in hushed whispers and men simmer in jealousy. Holding the record in stamina, with superior techniques in the sheets and on the streets. Hailing from the village hidden in the leaves. Disciple of the super pervert and conqueror of pain. The sage of MT Mayaboku and ally of toads. Uzumaki Naruto Databayo. Naruto finishes his dance with a crazy grin and fireworks somehow go off behind him. Azazel is standing there stunned, with his jaw on the ground. Sometime during the introduction, he dispersed his light spears and dropped his aura down to normal levels. Clearly this kid meant him no harm. He bursts out laughing, as the entire scenario is too much for him. Naruto just watches as what he thinks is the leader of the fallen angels is busting a gut with a few tears leaking from his eyes. That ha 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 ha, that has to be the ha ha ha, the best introduction ever, Azazel says as he gets his laughter under control. Thanks. I have been working on it for moments like this, Naruto says while rubbing the back of his head. That compliment means a lot to him as it is a way to honor his late godfather. So Uzumaki-san, what can I do for you? He says as he offers him a chair. Azazel groans as he sees all the paperwork on the ground, and he is going to have to organize it all again. Nah, he will just get Penemiya or some grunt to do it. Please, just Naruto says as he sits down comfortably. I was hoping you could help me out. You are Azazel-san, correct? Yes, I am, and just Azazel, he says as he rubs a hand through his golden-tipped hair. Suddenly, his door bursts open and several fallen pour in with light spears in their hands with slightly frantic expressions on their faces. Once they see Azazel fine, sitting behind his desk, they relax slightly. Azazel, who is your guest? A stern-looking middle-aged man who is nearly as buff as A and B with a beard says. Barakil, Penemu, and Shemhazai, this man is Uzumaki Naruto. He suddenly appeared in my office without me noticing him, and then introduced himself. It was honestly one of the funniest things I have ever seen, Azazel says with a hearty chuckle. The others are glaring slightly at the blonde, however, as he is somehow skillful enough to get into the heart of Grigori without being spotted. Relax everyone. I mean no one harm. I simply have come to ask Azazel a favor, Naruto says with a nice smile. I think we will stay here too, if you don't mind, says the 25-year-old with silver hair and purple eyes dressed in one of the most ridiculous things Naruto has ever seen. Still, he gets that the request was anything but. Nah, I don't care. It isn't really a secret anyway, he says with a wave of his hand. They all grab seats and pull close to the desk. Naruto sends a wink to Penemu, who smirks and winks back. She likes what she sees, and he is apparently powerful too. Two requirements in men that she likes to have fun with. Azazel clears his throat, getting everyone's attention back on him. So Naruto, what favor do you want me to do? Well, I need you to take me and my charge to the human dimension. I am kinda a stray devil that left immediately after being turned, and I never learned how to teleport, hehe, Naruto says, and they all just sweat drop. How did he get past everyone and infiltrate the Grigori? Also need basic devil magic books to teach myself how to use magic, he says with a nod. Azazel cups his hands and leans on the desk. Well, I have a few questions before I think about your request, Naruto. First, why don't I feel any devil magic within you? That's an easy one. I am just a clone made of chakra, so I can't have any devil magic in me, he says, making them all widen their eyes in shock. The clone isn't too worried about exposing that, as pretty much everyone back home knew that he used Kage Bunshin and he still kicked their ass. Where is the real you? Shemhazai asks. A couple days away by running with the young girl I am taking care of. He sent me in case anyone got trigger happy, Naruto says with a wave. Okay, I can accept that for now. How did you get turned and who is your master? Azazel asks. Naruto narrows his eyes. First off, no one is my master. I don't care if that is what devil rules say or what not, but that is something everyone should understand. For how I got turned, I was very injured and a devil by the name of Seraphal Leviathan came upon me. I believe she was trying to help me as she didn't know I would recover naturally and used her, Queen, Peace to turn me. I woke up a couple days later, heard that she called me her servant and had to do things for her, and was out of her mansion in 10 minutes. Used a clone to distract her, and now I am trying to get to the human realm. No real reason to kill countless devils after me, though I will if I have to. Azazel is a little wide-eyed that Seraphal got a peerage member, and he ran off within the first day. Though honestly, he would have probably done the same. She is a sweet, beautiful girl, but she is definitely a kind of crazy. So that was you, Shemhazai says while nodding. Wait. You knew Seraphal got a peerage member who ran away? Azazel questions. Of course I did. And if you did your paperwork, you would too, Shemhazai says exasperatedly, drawing chuckles from everyone else. Finally, Naruto, what would we get out of helping you? Azazel asks. He isn't going to help a stray devil for free, even if his introduction is awesome. TSK, I was hoping that the angel in you would just want to help out an unfortunate soul stuck in a bad place. Fine, I guess I will owe you 2 favors that you can collect whenever, as long as they don't involve the young girl I am protecting or create a war, Naruto says with a sigh. I want beginner and intermediate books for devil magic now though. How do we know you won't go back on your word? Shemhazai asks. Azazel is honestly just going to help him regardless if he goes back on his word later. Asking for those 2 things is literally nothing to him. Suddenly, the air goes cold and everyone tenses as Naruto looks over at Shemhazai. I don't go back on my word. It's my Nindo, Naruto growls out. The tense feeling disappears, getting a sigh of relief from the fallen. Only a drop of sweat could be seen on Penemu's face, though her eyes shine in lust. In that tense atmosphere, she could definitely feel the presence of an apex predator lurking beneath his gaze. If that was the clone could do, just think of the original. The several guys she is fucking regularly now couldn't ever match what she just felt. Plus, think of the options that clones provide. Penemu starts chuckling darkly to herself. Well, I think that answers that question, Azazel says with a small chuckle, hoping to lighten the mood. He fails horribly. I will come here with my charge in 3 days, so be ready then. Oh, and if you attempt to harm us, well, there won't be a fallen angel faction anymore. Ja-ne, the clone says before dispelling. I think we should take him out. Making a threat like that after asking for a favor, Barakil scowls. You felt it too, no? Penemu says. That moment where you felt like a mouse and the eye of a cat caught sight of you. There is something dangerous about that boy. Makes me want him all the more. Leaving aside your preferences, Penemu, I see no reason to escalate things. Besides, he did get in here unnoticed. Who's to say he does it again, and this time slits our throats? Azazel states, getting a couple of frowns. Besides, what he is asking for is so simple that I would have probably granted it without anything in return. I just wanted to see what he would offer. I am interested in the young girl he is taking care of? Who is she and why is he taking care of her? Shemhazai asks. I still think we should deal with him, Barakil grumbles. Don't you start acting like Kokabil too now, Azazel jokes, getting a small round of laughs. 47, 48, 49, 50 Vala grunts out. After returning to her start position, she immediately falls to the ground drenched in sweat. That was her 10th and final set of push-ups for the day's training. After 2 days of watching Naruto train and with Albion's encouraging, she timidly asked for Naruto to train her. He got all excited and jumped up and down, shouting how he will be even better than Erosenin. He asked her what her current capabilities were, and she told him that she has had no training before as her dad was scared that she would get stronger than him. Naruto frowned and patted her head, telling her that it's no problem and it's an easy fix. While feeling pretty comfortable around him, she still withheld the fact that she has a sacred gear from him. Since Naruto has no idea on how to use magic or train with it, he has been putting her through the gauntlet physically. Push-ups, sit-ups, squats, and running without weights all day. After the first day, she thought she was going to die. That feeling has still not gone away even after a week and a half later. She watches Naruto finish up his set of 200 push-ups, and he jumps up sweating hard, but still ready for anything. She looks at his weights and idly wonders how much they each weigh. She hasn't ever seen him take them off either. Such a great warm-up, any Vala-chan? He asks with his signature grin. She grunts, too tired to talk. You certainly being trained by a sadist. None of my predecessors did anything close to what you are doing at such a young age, Albion informs her with a bit of a chuckle and some pride laced in. She will certainly wield the divine dividing well in the future. Now Naruto says before he stops talking and shakes his head. She has seen him every day do this when he receives his clones' memories, but this time none of his clones in large numbers have dispelled. Well, it seems that the clone I sent to the Grigori accomplished his mission. Vala-chan, we are going to the human realm. Also, getting some books on how to use devil magic. Finally, she groans out. I can soon stop this torture and focus on magic. Naruto furrows his brow when he hears her. What do you mean? You will just practice magic after you work out? He questions with such an innocent tone that she can't tell if he is trying to torture her on purpose or not. We will leave first thing tomorrow as it will take 2 days to get there at a decent pace. I am going to spar with the Goken and conjust the teams. Naruto runs off and Vala drags herself over to a tree to have something to lean on. Above her is another clone still practicing chakra control who looks bored out his mind. Vala watches as Naruto goes all out with his clones, taking as many hits as he is giving. His smile never leaving his face the entire time. So, Vala-chan, how have you liked being around the boss so far? The clone questions. It's been different. In a good way. It seems like he cares, Vala says softly. She sees Naruto deliver a bone-shattering kick to a clone's face, dispelling it. Another clone gets under his guard, kicks him under the chin, launching him upward. He defends against several others looking to take advantage of his airborne state, and as he falls, raises his foot above him and smashes the ground, leaving a 10-yard crater. You know, Vala, we do care for you, the clone says. Why? Is it because of my last name? I can't understand your reasons, Vala asks with a bit of an irritated tone. All that she hears is silence, before hearing laughter coming from above her. Looking up, she glares at the clone while laughs freely. Ha 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 ha, you really don't have any trust, do you? He says sadly. Truly, I was similar, yet so different at your age. What do you mean? She demands. I grew up in a bad situation similar to you. I was an orphan, born on the same day that a tailed beast attacked our village. The leader of our village sealed the beast into me at the cost of his own life, hoping that the child would be regarded as a hero. The people, however, in their hatred and pain, only saw a beast in human form. I was treated terribly, beaten, running for my life many occasions, eating scraps and rotten food, and ignored by pretty much everyone, save 3 people. Until I was 13, I wore a mask every single day, so I truly know a bit about a shitty childhood. Do you know what changed me? The day the first person acknowledged me as me, not a demon or a prankster. As Uzumaki Naruto. When I saw you, and the signs of having a childhood as bad or maybe even worse than mine, I wanted to help. I was going to acknowledge you. That's all it is. I just want to help you, Vala Lucifer. No other reason than that, Naruto says with a smile. Vala doesn't face him, but in her eyes tears form. She gives a shaky nod of the head as she rubs her eyes with her hands. The clone doesn't say anything more, as they sit in silence watching the spar in front of them. Azazel sits outside, waiting for his guests to come. He has already informed the entire Grigori to not attack a young, whiskered blonde devil traveling with a child under pain of death. He'd rather not fight a man that can sneak around and kill you without you even realizing it. It'd be pretty bad for his sex life. The other leaders of the Grigori, except Kokobile, who are all cadres, are preparing in case this goes south somehow. Normally, Azazel would say that's overkill and he could handle it himself, but his instincts warn him to not fight this guy alone. Since his instincts were tempered in the three-faction war, he knows that they are rarely wrong. He senses the two devils before he sees them, clearly letting him know they are here, though he suspects they don't know how to suppress it if they are asking for devil magic textbooks. The magical energy in the pair is enormous. Both already have mature high-class devil reserves. Clearly, they will both be powerhouses in devil magic in the years to come. He stands up as he sees them round a building, with many fallen following them, each ready to smite the devils if they so much as try anything funny. Azazel sees that the girl, around 12, is extremely nervous and scared, her eyes constantly roaming through the ranks of the fallen as she holds onto one of the blonde's hands. The blonde, Naruto, Azazel reminds himself, looks completely at ease, not worried in the slightest about all the fallen. None of his body language betrays him either, which only confirms Azazel's thoughts that this man is dangerous. As he glances at some of his fallen, he can see that several are sweating at the energy output of the two, their magical auras not being restrained whatsoever. He takes note of them and is going to increase their training as they shouldn't be sweating from this amount. Ah, Naruto! Good to see you again. Sorry about the reception, but some people insisted with you being a devil and all, Azazel says with a smile as they get close to him. Naruto waves it off. Completely understandable. I would have been more surprised and suspicious if you didn't, to be honest, he says. Azazel reaches his hand out for a handshake, which Naruto easily accepts. Azazel tries to get a read on how much chakra the enigmatic blonde in front of him has, but his unsuppressed magical energy is making it hard for him. All he can tell is that it is a lot. Way more than his magic reserves. And if I can ask, who is your companion? Azazel asks as he looks down at the young girl. Something about her appearance is ringing faint bells in his head, but he can't seem to remember. Naruto gives her hand a reassuring squeeze as she leans into his leg, trying to get away from all the attention on her. This is Vala Lucifer, Naruto states, shocking all the fallen angels present. They knew about Rhizome Lucifer and that he had a son, but no one knew about a little girl Lucifer. The scrutinizing glares on her increase tenfold, and she is nearly shaking in her shoes right now. Even Azazel is giving her another once-over, and his eyes widen in shock at what he feels within the girl. Oh ho, a descendant of Lucifer with a strong sacred gear, now isn't this a surprise, says out loud. Vala eyes widen with a panicked look on her face as she looks toward Naruto, who merely has an eyebrow raised. Nevertheless, let's move forward to our business here. I don't think Vala-chan likes all the stares that she is receiving, Naruto states, getting a nod from Azazel. They walk over to the table where Azazel was sitting, and with a snap of his fingers and a magic circle later, 20 books appear on it. These are beginner, intermediate, and advanced level devil magic textbooks with a couple subspecialty magic books thrown in there, as well as a couple on the history of devils and their pillars. There is also a fallen angel history book in there as well, so that you can have a different perspective, Azazel states with a grin. He definitely went above and beyond, but again his same instincts were telling him that this was the right move. His advisors are going to have a fit about it later. Naruto raises an eyebrow in surprise. You do know that you are still only getting 2 favors, right? He questions. Yup. Consider this a gift from the Grigori faction, Azazel states with a nod. Thanks, Azazel, Naruto says with a genuine smile. He pulls out a scroll and lets go of Vala's hand. He quickly seals the books in it, much to the interest of Azazel, and rolls it back up. Vala, meanwhile, shrunk into herself as the stares of all the fallen is getting too much for her to handle. Naruto stands beside Vala as Azazel approaches them. Okay, I am going to teleport you to the human realm now, he says, getting a nod from both of them. A magic circle appears below them, and they disappear into it. The next moment they are deposited in an alley of what looks like a city, and it is cold out. Naruto can already see his breathe, something he never could in the land of the fire. Vala shivers a bit, definitely feeling the bite of the cold with her light clothing. Here is 5,000 euros and my cell phone number. Call it once you get your own, so that this way I have a way to contact you. Don't worry about us being in different dimensions, I have that covered. Take care, Naruto, Vala, and see you soon, Azazel says as he disappears in a flash. Vala looks up at Naruto, with worry in her eyes, but Naruto doesn't notice as he is too busy cursing out Azazel. Stupid Fallen, pranking us by sending us who knows where and we have to figure it out by ourselves. At least he gave us money. Still, what the hell is the cell phone? Naruto grumbles out. He sees Vala shivering, her shorts and short-sleeved shirt definitely not made for this weather, and the first thing he resolves to do is buy new clothing. Come on Vala-chan, let's go get you new clothing, he says. Vala is getting more and more anxious. She has been walking around all day with Naruto, buying clothes, exploring the city, and going to a library to figure out where they are and what the hell a cell phone is. Turns out, it is the small device all the other humans have been holding to their ear and it is used for communication over long distances. He quickly buys a small flip phone and calls Azazel, letting him know that this is his number. Naruto, she doesn't really know what to call him, guardian? Friend, is fascinated by everything that humans have accomplished. Which is weird, wasn't he a human before too? Shouldn't he know about this stuff? Regardless, she can't help but worry as her secret has been exposed. Naruto knows that she has a sacred gear that she didn't tell him about. Yet, he hasn't said a word about it yet. The worry is eating at her. I think you are worrying too much. He doesn't seem to care that you kept it from him. Also, remember when he said that a beast was sealed inside him too? He probably understands your reluctance to talk about it, Albion says. That is true, but I lied to him. Vala anxiously thinks. If she ever lied back when she was with her father, it was not a pleasant time. She still has the scars to prove it. Finally, the duo find themselves in a hotel, something pretty cheap as they have already gone through 2,000 euros buying themselves new clothing. When they get inside their room, which contains 2 queen-sized beds, Vala can't take it anymore. Why haven't you said anything? She asks with a bit of anger in her voice. Huh? Why haven't you gotten angry that I have a sacred gear? That I kept it from you all this time? Did you know? She practically screams, with tears of frustration welling up in her eyes. Naruto, his eyes widening, walks up to her and hugs her. She flinches at first from the contact, but she soon gives into the hug, tears rolling down her face. The stress of the entire day getting to her. Vala-chan, I didn't know you had a sacred gear. I honestly don't really know much about them other than they are artifacts from the biblical god. Whence it doesn't matter to me though. Besides, I don't expect you to have told me all your secrets by now. We have only known each other for about 2 weeks now, Naruto states with a chuckle as he pats her head. Thank you, and Naruto, Vala says. She is really lucky to have met Naruto when she did. His sunny personality has torn down all her walls and she feels like she can actually trust someone other than her mother now. No mention it, kiddo. Now, I'm going to take a shower. It's been way too long since I was last able to, Naruto says with a chuckle and goes into the bathroom. I told you, hatchling. He doesn't care. It seems like you have found yourself a good sensei, Albion says. Sensei, yes, that is exactly what Naruto is. My sensei, Vala thinks as she lays back on her bed. The inviting embrace of the soft bed, something she hasn't felt in a long time, quickly ushers her to the land of dreams, a small smile on her face. Vala is breathing raggedly as she stares down her sensei, who doesn't seem to be fazed at all. She ignores the pain she feels across her body and once more charges at him. She gets near him, lashing out with a right hook that he easily blocks, but she knew that as her left foot is aiming at his side. He grabs hold of it, and she quickly jumps up and tries to a blow to his face with her right leg. Naruto merely moves the minimal amount of distance away as her foot barely brushes by it, and delivers a devastating punch to her abdomen and throws her away with contemptuous ease. Never going to hit me with straightforward attacks like that, Vala-chan, Naruto says teasingly. She growls as she picks herself back up, shakily standing on her own 2 legs. Let's call it a day, Naruto says, and she instantly falls down, dirt, blood, and sweat covering her clothes. Her clothes are ripped all over the place, but she doesn't care. Her modesty was something beaten out of her in these spars. Worrying about your state of dress in a fight is an easy way to become distracted and killed, Naruto told her. He then provided several examples from his own experiences and she took them to heart. He also told her that if she ever fights a perverted male in a few years, she could easily kill him while he is distracted. A win is a win. It doesn't matter if it is the most chivalrous or the most dirty, underhanded win ever. As long as you survive and your opponent doesn't, That's all that truly matters, Naruto also said to her. He said that these are two basic shinobi rules that you have to take to heart. Not doing so will probably end with you being killed. She still has a hard time believing that he is from a different universe where shinobi battle with all the techniques that he has shown her, along with devils, angels, fallen, and almost all the gods don't exist. He only knew of two gods in his home world, the Shinigami and Kagaya. Sensei, you are brutal as always, she whines as she picks herself up. No longer is she a malnourished, out-of-shape little girl. Her muscles are lithe and strong, thanks to the torture sessions she has been through. Yes, she has concluded it is torture and not training. Albion agrees with her. The stuff she started out with is now child's play compared to now. Trust me, it's the best way to learn. This is what my sensei did to me, Naruto informs her sagely. Didn't you say he did that to beat the idiot out of you? Vala deadpans. Yup. That too. I feel it is something I have to do to you as well, Naruto says with a grin. She rolls her eyes as she feels like he gets some personal satisfaction beating up his own student. His methods are working wonders though. It's clear how much stronger you are now. Now if he would just let you start practicing with my power, Albion grumbles. Naruto made a rule early on that she is not to use Albion's power at all until he says so, because she first has to get strong on her own. Ni-sensei, when can I start using my sacred gear? Vala asks as she walks over to him, the weights on her arms and legs making even this simple movement torturous right now. Naruto rolls his eyes. Not for a while. You still need a ton of training in your taijutsu. Battle awareness skills are still lacking. Your magic is coming along well, but increasing your reserves is always a must. We also need to soon work on aerial combat as it seems many fights occur in the air. I also need to work on that as well, to be honest, he informs her. She slouches slightly at his assessment, something he notices. Overall though, I think you are doing great. Coming from no training whatsoever, this is tremendous progress, he compliments her, making her raise her head with some pride. Now why don't you get showered and changed while I dispel my clones and make us some dinner, Naruto says. She nods her head eagerly, as his cooking is extremely good. She runs back to their house, a normal 2-story house with 4 bedrooms and 3 baths. The only remarkable thing is the location, as it is in the middle of a forest. That's why Naruto bought it, and the surrounding forest as well, so that they could have enough room to train in peace. She asked him how he got so much money, and he pulled out a little orange book and said that he published something from his home world. She wasn't allowed to read it though, as it isn't appropriate for her. Still, it seems he has made a lot of money if she judges by the way he chuckles darkly each time he checks his bank account. She actually can faintly hear his cackling right now if she listens closely. He always gets that way when his clones manage a breakthrough. He also curses about how he would have destroyed Sasuke's team with this new move and gets a little depressed afterwards. She does her best to cheer him up though, as he has for her. When she walks downstairs after cleaning herself up, she sees Naruto placing their food on the table. Her mouth waters as she sees the grilled salmon, asparagus, broccoli, and pasta set out on the table. She sits down and starts piling it on her plate, not worrying about manners at all. So, I was thinking about us going on a trip to see the Norse faction since we are in Germany. Kurama thinks it's a good idea too, Naruto says as he piles on the food as well. To say Kurama was surprised about all the other factions and how there were a ton of gods was an understatement. He practically screamed at Naruto for not waking him up to tell him. Naruto simply said that he would have if they had met one. He definitely needs Kurama's help if they face someone like Kagaya here. Kurama was less surprised about Naruto taking in Vala, especially after he heard about her background. He is interested in finding out who is stronger though, him or the heavenly dragon. Vala's eyes widen a bit. Why? She asks. Well, we have been here for 6 months and I am starting to get a little restless. I got used to traveling with Erosenin before he died, so it's different just staying here to train. It will also be good for you to see some of the other factions and learn a bit about them, Naruto informs her. I guess, she says while she plays with her food. The idea of meeting people, not to mention gods, from a different faction is a little scary to her. Still, if her sensei says it's important and wants to go, then she will too. Okay, she says with a little more confidence, making Naruto nod. He has been trying his best to bring up the self-confidence and self-worth of the girl, while also trying to not make her arrogant. Apparently, dragons are known for their arrogance, and the Longinus wielders of boosted and dividing gear can take on some draconic traits. He doesn't want to raise an Uchiha. Don't worry about anything. I will be there with you. Besides, you are stronger than you think. It's just hard for you to use me as a measuring stick, Naruto says in between bites. Well, how are we going to get there? Vala asks. I am going to call Azazel and see if he can tell me where the Earth entrance is to Asgard and then go there, Naruto says with a shrug. When Azazel called several months ago to check up on them and he found out that Naruto is the author of Ika, as it is under the pseudonym the Toad Sage, well, he told Naruto to call him whenever he needs help. Vala nods as it is a very valid point. She doesn't quite know what to think of Azazel. He seemed nice, but he is her natural enemy. She is going to have to meet him a couple more times to determine how she feels. After dinner, Naruto gets up, while two clones put away the dishes, and calls Azazel. Naruto? What's up? Azazel asks. Hey Ero Tenchi, I was wondering if you could tell me where the Earth Gate is to the Norse faction. Naruto asks. Why do you want to know that? Azazel questions with a little shock. Because I want to travel and visiting the Norse pantheon sounds like a good idea, Naruto explains to him. I could tell you, but it will cost you. Maybe you will let me examine Vala's sacred gear? Azazel asks with a hint of excitement. I swear you have a hard-on when you talk about sacred gears. That's a no, Naruto deadpans. I do not. They are just so numerous and mysterious that I really enjoy figuring them out. Well, then I guess I could do it for the yet unpublished Ika, Master that is supposed to come out in 2 months, Azazel says with a perverted tone. Now, how did I know that was what you were going to ask for? I have it right here with me. You can meet us at the gate to get it, Naruto informs him. Deal. Meet at Lone, Norway in 3 days at noon. I will show you where the gate is, Azazel says cheerfully. He just struck a great deal. He is going to have to make sure Shemhazai covers for him as he studies this new book in depth. The first 2 he even did reenactments. Naruto hangs up with a chuckle. Azazel reminds him a lot of Erosenin, except it seems Azazel gets way more girls and is a leader. He still can't comprehend why though. It seems that males, no matter the species, are all stupid like ninjas, Kurama guffaws. Shut up, fuzzball. You probably go through my memories to read the Ika series when you are bored, Naruto says. It's true. The great Kyubi no Kitsune is a closet pervert. Naruto shouts in his mind, laughing. Quiet. It's not like you have anything else in this empty brain of yours to entertain me, Kurama huffs as he curls up, obviously wanting to spare himself further embarrassment. Sensei? Vala questions, bringing him out of his thoughts. Sorry, Vala-chan. Talking to Kurama. Anyways, we are meeting up with Azazel in 3 days in Lone, Norway, and he will take us to the gate, Naruto says, getting a nod from her. Okay. Also, Sensei, I heard your cackling as I was walking back. Did your clones figure something out? She asks. Yes. He shouts with a smile. They have finally mastered the second stage of fire manipulation. Finally. It took forever. I clearly didn't have any sort of affinity for it at all, he finishes sheepishly. Congrats, Sensei. Are you going to do your fire release, Great Fire Annihilation Jutsu again? Vala asks with a cute tilt of her head. Naruto rubs her head and says of course. It should be a lot closer to that damned Uchihas now. Still, I want to see if I can add my fire release to my Rasengan like I did with wind. Vala's eyes widen when she remembers that attack. A certain one-hit kill attack that destroyed a huge area when it exploded. Billions of wind blades packed into it that could cut anything, even Albion said it was impressive. That would certainly be explosive, she states. I know, right? Anyhow, you should get some rest as the next 2 days I am ramping up our training. I don't know when the next time we can train, so we have to get it in now. Naruto says with that smile. Stupid sadist sensei, she groans as she drags herself to bed, hearing his laughter behind her. Well, he didn't say exactly where to meet, Naruto says as he stands by the river with Vala. He is awed by the scenery here, and the natural energy feels way cleaner than in Germany. It doesn't even compare to empty Mayaboka though. Vala just takes in the scenery with a small smile on her face. She knows her sensei is big into nature, so being here must make him happy. Plus, it looks way cooler than the forests of Germany that she is used to. Behind her, she feels the telltale signs of a magic circle. She knows her sensei is a stray, plus she probably has people hunting after her too, so she turns around with energy building up in her hands. Azazel appears and gains an amused smile on his face when he sees Vala ready to strike at him. His senses tell him that not only has her magical power grown considerably, but it is much more refined as well. The rumors about the Lucifer genes granting immense magical reserves are probably true. Her body also looks healthy and strong, a clear contrast to the last time he saw her. Finally, she has a much better look in her eyes. Clearly, she is being well taken care of. He looks over at Naruto, and his eyes widen a bit at just how much magical energy he has already. He definitely near the cusp of a low ultimate class devil, and it is similarly refined to Vala's. It also is being used to cover up the chakra, which he can tell lurks beneath the surface as a veritable ocean. Just how deep is the true question? It probably that large that quickly due to him being the queen of Amau, Azazel thinks to himself. Those pieces were designed without any restrictions on them. Well, it looks like you two have been training hard. I can tell you both have a significant difference in magical power. Vala, the look in your eyes is much better, Azazel states causally, causing Naruto to grin widely and Vala to get a small blush of embarrassment at the praise. Hearing that you are progressing well from her sensei is one thing, hearing it from a third party is a totally different matter. Yes, I have been pushing Vala hard with her physical exercises, and we have both been working on our magic. Still, while I am not a very good sensor for magical power yet, I can tell you have us easily outclassed, Naruto informs him. Ha 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 ha, that I do, but at your rate of growth that may not be for long, Azazel says with a laugh. Seriously, what kind of training schedule do you have? I may have to use it myself, he asks. It's torture. I am being tortured every single day by my sadistic sensei, Vala deadpants, causing Azazel to mock glare at Naruto. Hee hee, come on Vala-chan, it's not that bad, right? He says a little nervously. Right, he says weakly. At least I cook for you and bring you on cool trips, Naruto says, trying to salvage himself as Azazel's glare gets harder. I guess, Vala says with a small smile. She really wouldn't change anything, but her training is torture. Well, Naruto, maybe you should allow Vala to do normal kid things instead of train, Azazel suggests. What do kids do for fun other than train? That's what I did. And pranks. And eating ramen, Naruto questions honestly, getting a sweat drop from Azazel. Do you want to learn how to prank people? Naruto asks, getting a shake of the head in return. It's fine. I enjoy it, sensei. That doesn't change the fact that it is torture, she states with a small smile, getting Naruto to let out a sigh of relief. He thought for a second that he was a terrible sensei. He is modeling it after Ero-sennin and Kakashi-sensei, except taking out all the parts he didn't like about them. Like drinking, peeping, reading porn, arriving late, not telling him how to do things, and going to brothels. Wow, maybe they weren't the greatest teachers ever, Naruto thinks to himself. Kurama snorts. You think, brat? Though you did get this far, so they couldn't have been terrible. Well, your teaching/parenting skills aside, did you bring it? Azazel asks eagerly. Of course, Ero Tenchi. Here you go, he says as he tosses the book toward him. Azazel catches it, opens it up, giggles perversely, and closes it. Well, a deal is a deal. Can you two fly yet? He asks. Yes, though we aren't great at it. We have been mostly working on our magical reserves, sensory skills, and attacks, Naruto informs him. They walk into the forest to not be seen and Naruto lets out his wings along with the other two. Azazel has 12 pitch black wings that look extremely sleek and Vala lets out her 6 devil wings, annoying Naruto that he only has 2. He wants more, damn it. The other trait of the Lucifer clan. The original Mao clans have more than one pair of wings, Azazel says as he looks at them. They are also an indicator of a Lucifer's magical prowess, and it is progressively harder to gain the next set. 6 wings is very good for a 13-year-old. Vala blushes again and says, I used to only have 4 when I first met Sensei. Come on, show-offs, let's getting moving, Naruto says as he is still bitter about only having 1 set. Strolling up to a battle with 12 wings would be badass. Azazel guffaws at the obvious, jealously rolling off Naruto before taking off into the sky. Vala and Naruto follow quickly behind as Azazel sets a moderate pace for them to keep up with him. They fly for about an hour, before descending into a foggy forest. Naruto can tell by the magic surrounding this place that this fog is clearly not ordinary. They create this fog so that people don't stumble on this place. The reason why we didn't just teleport here is that we probably would have been instantly attacked. Most pantheons are the kill first, ask questions later type, Azazel informs him. Naruto, while confident in Vala, still moves closer to her in case they are suddenly attacked. He doesn't want to lose his only precious person in this world. They continue to walk for 15 minutes, making small talk, before they stand in front of a giant white barred gate, with a huge circle in the center where the two sides meet, depicting a Valkyrie riding a horse. The fog completely covers to the sides of the gate, and Naruto doubts that going around it is possible. Well, here you are. I am going to do some research now. Have fun, Azazel says with a perverted grin. He disappears in a teleportation circle, leaving the two of them alone. What now, sensei? Vala asks, a little of awe of the gate. Let's knock politely, and if they don't respond, kick it down, Naruto says with a laugh. He walks up fearlessly, Vala right behind him, and reaches the bottom of the gate. Halt, traveler. For what reason have you come to the gates of Valhalla? A young woman with golden hair and green eyes, no more than 25, asks as she rides a horse. We seek an audience with the All-Father, Naruto states with a serious tone. Vala looks up at him in surprise, as she has rarely heard that voice. For what reason? The beautiful Valkyrie asks. To see Asgard, Naruto says. The Valkyrie raises an eyebrow. A magic circle appears by her ear and she nods her head in response. The All-Father, Odin, has decided to accept your request. Please step through the gates, she says as the gates start to open. The moment Naruto and Vala cross the line of the gate, they are suddenly someplace else, on a rainbow bridge. They are looking past the bridge. Miles away, they can see an expansive city, with magnificent buildings that glister in the light of the sun. That is Asgard, and the bridge we are standing on is the Bifrost, that which connects the 9 realms of Yggdrasil together. If you want, you can think of the human realm as the main dimension with the dimensions of the gods branched off it. No other godly realm is directly connected to it. You would have to go through the dimensional gap to get here, otherwise, the Valkyrie informs them. Naruto nods his head, too awestruck to say anything else. Clearly, gods live here, as it is honestly unreal. Vala too can't speak. Let us go. It is best to not keep the All-Father waiting, the Valkyrie says, but Naruto notices a faint amount of annoyance when she said All-Father. Curious. It takes about 30 minutes of walking to get to the city, and another 15 after that to the main building. Still, Naruto doesn't mind at all. He enjoys the new scenery. The Valkyrie points out the mansions of Thor, Loki, and the other gods and goddesses of the Norse religion. Many of the people in the city are Valkyries or servants to the gods. Naruto sees many running around, going about life as humans do. Soon, they arrive in front of the massive doors of the throne room. Valley, a little nervous, grabs Naruto's hand, getting a gentle squeeze of her hand as reassurance. The Valkyrie in front of him pushes the doors open, and the swing opened loudly. Inside the throne room, Naruto's gaze is first set on the man on the throne. An old man, like Sarutogijiji, whose visage screams experience, wisdom, power, locks his one eye onto them, intently scrutinizing every detail. His robes and crown give credence to the fact that he is the one in charge here, and you must give him the proper respect. As Naruto looks around, he notices the Valkyries lining the carpet that stretches over the marble to the throne, with sword and shield in hand, each looking like that of a warrior princess. His eyes drift up to the ceiling, the gold-trimmed dome, with pictures of Odin's heroic feats painted across it. They start walking toward him, still not leaving his scrutinizing eye, and Naruto sees what he presumes to be other gods and goddesses, who are curious as to why they are in Asgard. Many are murmuring amongst themselves, but Naruto can't hear their conversation. They stop at the edge of the steps that ascend to the throne as Odin still gazes down at them. Vala squirms slightly at the intensity, but doesn't show fear. Odin leans back in his throne as the Valkyrie kneels to the floor, while Naruto and Vala remain standing. So Kara, it seems your chest has grown a bit from the last time I saw you, Odin says as he strokes his beard. Naruto almost face faults as the first thing out of this old man's mouth is a perverted comment. Seriously, he should have known better by now. Vala manages to keep her jaw from falling to the ground. She then looks down at her own chest and wonders when she will start growing. Her sensei told her, after much stammering and such, about what she will start going through when puberty arrives. According to him, it will start soon for her. No, Odin-sama. It has not grown since the last time you saw me, Kara states in a neutral voice, not betraying anything. When was that? A couple years ago, right? You really should come back to my personal guard, Odin says with a slightly perverted grin. I have to respectfully decline, Odin-sama. As I am married now, I don't feel it is appropriate to be groped anymore, except by my husband, Kara once more says neutrally. Ah, that's right, I forgot you got married. Well, thank you for bringing me these two, Odin says, and she takes that as a dismissal. She walks over and stands by the other Valkyries. It has been a long time since we have been visited by another pantheon, especially by devils. I think it has been 40 years since the last devil stepped foot in Asgard. What are your names? Odin asks, his voice now radiating authority. Suddenly, everything goes dark for a moment, which causes some commotion before a single beam of light shines on Naruto and Vala. Naruto is in a strange stance, though without weapons, causing the Valkyries to lessen their guard, and Vala looking up at him in bewilderment. Men run in fear at the mention of my name, while women feel a wetness between their thighs. The vanquisher of the Akatsuki and student of Jiraiya of the Sannin. The son of the Yellow Flash and Red-Hot Habanero. The Toad Sage. The carrier of 9. The child of prophecy. Uzumaki Naruto Databao. Naruto yells, finishing his dance. Fireworks go off behind him as his audience is stupefied by the display. Vala is blushing red in embarrassment for knowing him, but she admits privately that it was pretty cool. Odin, for all his wisdom, had his jaw dropped at the display. He asks, in an almost reverent tone, Did you say the Toad Sage? When Naruto nods his head, Odin quickly appears in front of him, so fast that Vala didn't see him move, with a pen and a little orange book. Do you think you could sign this for me? He questions eagerly. Naruto deadpans the leader of the Norse faction, who is acting anything but dignified right now. Still, he hates formalities too. Sure thing, ROGG, Naruto says, with gasps coming from the room. Vala is horrified that her sensei just called Odin a perverted old man. He signs it with his name in beautiful kanji, before handing it back to Odin. Odin takes a moment as he looks at Naruto, before bursting out laughing. Ha 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 ha, I like you, kid. You are a real straight shooter. Call it like you see it, Odin says as he heads back up to his throne. Vala lets out a sigh of relief as she looks her sensei. Truly, he must be trying to get them killed. Now, Odin says with his authoritative voice, but his recent actions made him lose all credibility with Naruto and Vala whatsoever. Why is it that you have come here? Well, ROGG, we were in Germany training and I thought let's go see the Norse faction, so I called up Tenchi and he brought us to the gates. We simply wished to explore and see the beauty of Yggdrasil and meet some new people. Also, by the way, I forgot to mention that this is my disciple, Vala Lucifer, Naruto says offhandedly, causing a stir amongst the Norse crowd. A descendant of the Mao himself. I noticed that right away. I saw the original Mao Lucifer a couple times, and she definitely has some of the same characteristics, Odin says while stroking his beard. She will be a beauty in several years, he says sagely, causing Vala to blush and Naruto to deadpan. So, ROGG, can we stay and look around? Naruto asks bluntly. It isn't exactly wise to let those associated with another faction to roam around Yggdrasil, Odin muses out loud. Oh, don't worry, we aren't associated with the devil faction at all. In fact, they are probably trying to kill us. You see, I am technically a stray devil. No choice in reincarnation and definitely not a servant. Meanwhile, Vala-chan doesn't know any of them. Also, I will throw in a pre-release copy of Ika Ika, Master right now, Naruto says with a small smile. Done. Tonight you shall feast with the gods in Valhalla, Naruto, Uzumaki and Vala Lucifer, Odin says loudly. The onlookers have expressions of shock, though several that have read the first two Ika Ika series know why Odin caved so easily. They simply are masterpieces the world has not seen since Shakespeare. Naruto pulls out a scroll, and a small poof of smoke later, a copy of Ika Ika, Master is in his hand. Here you go, Naruto says, handing the book to Odin, who looks at it like it's the most precious thing in the world. Please explore to your heart's content. Just don't go in any restricted area. The guards will tell you if it is. Be back here by 5, Odin says before he teleports away, eagerly to start his new book. Naruto and Vala look at each other, shrug, then walk out to explore the city of Asgard. They walk back into the throne room at exactly 5, to see Odin on his throne giggling perversely, while his 2 Valkyrie guards stand stoically on the step below. You are on time, excellent. Let us go to the Great Hall of Valhalla, where some of our bravest warriors reside, Odin says as he closes the book and puts it inside his robe. On his way down the steps, he smacks the ass of one of the guards, getting a small yelp from her. Laughing, he steps right next to Naruto and Vala, his guards making no movement towards them. Let us be off, he says as he uses a magic circle, which transports them to the front of hundreds of long tables, each full of warriors eating, drinking and laughing with one another. The one long table in front, facing all the others, is where the gods sit as they watch their warriors with pride. The walls and ceiling are a dark wood, while there are thousands of metal bowls that have fire coming out of the top, with its long shaft firmly in the ground. Welcome to Valhalla, the residence of the bravest warriors in all of Yggdrasil, Odin shouts, getting a thunderous roar in response. You may both sit at the gods' table tonight, and eat with us, Odin says as he walks to his chair and pulls out his new book again. All around him are the major gods of the Norse pantheon, except one chair left empty. Taking Vala's hand, he says, come on Vala-chan, let's go find us a seat. They walk down several chairs until they find 2 empty next to each other. They both sit down across from 2 goddesses, who are surprised at their appearance. You must be the 2 everyone is talking about. It is rare that we have visitors, and rarer still that Odin-sama invites them to Valhalla. Odin-sama must think very highly of the 2 of you, the goddess says. She has long blonde hair and purple eyes, with a figure fit for a goddess. It is certainly an honor to be here. My name is Uzumaki Naruto, and this is Vala Lucifer, Naruto says with a bright smile. Where are my manners? My name is Sif, wife of Thor, and to my right is Shaf, Sif says. The woman to her right has chocolate-colored hair falling to her but with golden eyes eyeing Naruto like he is the juiciest steak ever. Nice to meet you both. This place is amazing, Naruto says in awe. It certainly is. We will be here feasting for 7 days and nights. If you get tired, you simply retire to one of the rooms through the door behind us, or if you find someone you like, Shaf says with a devious smile. Naruto doesn't see it as he is too busy looking around. Now, come. Be a man and drink some mead, Sif says as she thrusts a mug into his hands. Naruto looks down at it before chugging it in one go, to the shock of Vala and the goddesses. One more please, Naruto says before belching, drawing laughs from the goddesses, several of the gods surrounding them. Vala watches as Naruto drinks yet another mug of mead, the sway in his step and the redness of his face clearly indicating that he is drunk. He once told her because of the QB he can't get drunk, so she doesn't know what to think. The fox is probably letting his host get drunk for his own amusement, Albion comments with a chuckle. A drunk Naruto is funny. Yeah, but a lot of people are crowding around Sensei now. He hasn't talked to me in a while, she says, pouting. You know, you could talk to some of the other people. I think that was one of the points for him doing this, Albion states. Well, I am nervous. I have never been around this many people. Sensei is also usually right by my side, Vala says to him. Warriors of Valhalla! Odin shouts, the entire place becoming silent. We have feasted for a night together. Now it is time for this month's annual battle to become Freya's champion. His spear, Gungnir, appears in his hand and he slams the butt of it against the ground. The landscape changes as the warriors are no longer at tables inside, but are rather outside with their preferred weapons in hand. The gods in their table are above them, ready to watch the countless thousands of warriors battle in a free-for-all. A battle? Her sensei's drunken voice shouts. Imma join, he says as he jumps down, using his wings to pull up out of a free fall at the very last second. Naruto, this is a no magic or chakra battle. Just pure weapons and physical strength, only. All this people have been blessed and have the strength and speed from medium class to upward devils. Also, if you die out there, you will die for real unlike them. Are you sure you want to join? Odin says as all the warriors stare at him. Vala watches on horrified, about to jump down and help him, before a hand lands on her shoulder. Sif shakes her head and squeezes her shoulder tighter, not allowing her to join. She doesn't want to see this young girl die, and she thinks that the blonde wouldn't want that either. Naruto stands up a little straighter, his redness from his drunkenness going away and his eyes becoming sharper. I definitely want to arrow GG, he yells before in a puff of smoke, Kubikuribocho appears in his hands. He swings it around easily, while all the warriors look on impressed and awed by the sword. This is the perfect test for my kenjutsu. He continues. Hey Vala-chan. Watch your sensei win this thing, okay, Naruto says with a grin. She gives him a firm nod, with tears in her eyes. She doesn't want to lose him. Relax, hatchling. He isn't going to die, and if it comes to it he will use his magic/chakra to get out even if he has to forfeit, Albion says with a shrug. His words comforted Vala a little and she is determined to watch him the entire way. A magic circle appears underneath Naruto, and it changes his uniform to what he wears during training, orange and black jacket and pants, with black sandals and his headband on his head. Come on Arrow GG, let's go, Naruto shouts, getting a chuckle from Odin. Begin, he shouts, and the field instantly becomes full of clashes. Are you worried for your sensei? Sif asks softly. Vala nods her head as she watches him battle a huge Viking with an axe and shield. Naruto nimbly dodges the axe swipe and retaliates by bringing Kubikuribocho around in a vicious slice. The Viking raises his shield and the sword bites deeply into it. Naruto pulls it out and deflects the axe strike, this time getting to the side of the Viking and swinging Kubikuribocho hard, nearly cleaving the man in half. He dodges a sword strike coming at his back, before delivering an overhead swing that breaks the woman's sword in half and splits her in two. Yes, she whispers. I know that he is very strong, but I can't help but worry, she admits. You know, my fool of a husband is a battle freak, and even though he is extremely strong, I can't help but worry too. You just have to trust in them that they will get back to you, alright, Sif says a little sadly. Her husband is somewhere in the 9 realms fighting Odin knows what right now. Come. Let us return to the feast and watch your sensei win this, Sif says as she offers her hand. Vala takes her hand and walks back to the table, though she keeps glancing over her shoulder at the orange speck in the middle of all the rest. It's been an entire day and the battle still isn't done, but it's about to end. There are 10 people left as the gods and Vala watch on intently. Apparently, these 10 are the ones that win it the most often. Naruto eyes down his opponent, Bjorn, if she remembers correctly what Shafn told her, who has an axe and a metal shield. Both Naruto and Bjorn are breathing heavily with scratches all over. Vala let out cries of shock several times as Naruto took some heavy wounds in the beginning several hours. Fortunately, they healed after only a minute or so, and they didn't slow down Naruto at all. His kenjutsu has progressed nicely with some actual battlefield experience against capable opponents. His shortcomings were exposed and he has been working on correcting them, Albion says to her, impressed by how much Naruto has improved. She watches as he trades blows with Bjorn, each trying to get a feel for the other's style. Naruto swings his sword diagonally, and Bjorn sidesteps and redirects it with his shield before stepping in and swinging his axe. Naruto jumps back and raises Kubikurubocho, which takes the blow to the side, not leaving so much as a scratch on the blade. Naruto lashes out with a foot, which Bjorn blocks with his shield, but he still stumbles back a little. Capitalizing on this, Naruto presses with his attack, with swings from above, to the side, and across, raining blows down on Bjorn's shield until it becomes unusable. Bjorn, in desperation, ducks beneath one of the swings, and goes in for the kill. Naruto, however, parries with the sword and strikes him down as he goes past Bjorn. He gives a tired smile up to her and winks as he is covered in blood and gore. He takes Kubikurubocho, and seeing a battle happening 20 yards away, throws it, spinning horizontally, and it cleaves the woman in two. Naruto runs over, and dodging some strikes of his new opponent, delivers a punishing kick to the man's kneecap, destroying it. He walks over and picks up Kubikurubocho before he quickly makes work on his injured opponent. Well, it looks like your sensei might win this after all, Sif says with a smile on her face. Still, I think another battle might just be beginning, she continues as she looks over to some of the goddesses. The blushes on their faces as they look down at the whiskered blonde with lust shining in their eyes bodes well for Naruto. Your sensei sure is a lucky man, one of the gods that she has met, Honor says with a rueful chuckle. Vala smiles awkwardly, not really sure what to say to that. Finally, the battle of thousands has become a battle of two. Naruto stares down his opponent, who is a whopping 6 feet 7 inches and easily 285 pounds of pure muscle with a giant shield and axe as his weapons. He sprints at Naruto, shield and axe at the ready, determined to kill the blonde. He attempts to shield bash Naruto, but only hits air. Naruto tries to take advantage and hit his side, but his opponent's quick reactions block it, and he swings his axe downward. Naruto deflects it, and counterattacks, leaving a gash on the man's arm. The giant of a man backs up and studies his prey more intently. Naruto, however, just wants to get this over with, so he goes on an all-out assault. Swinging faster than he had before, he slowly, but surely chips away at the strong defense his opponent is showing. He leaves numerous cuts all across the man's body, and his Kubikurubocho sings for more blood. Not wanting to be outdone, the man pushes Naruto back just as Kubikurubocho hits his shield and tries to lop of Naruto's head. Naruto narrowly dodges, sweat pouring down his forehead as he snarls and increases his attacks even more. His opponent, now fully on the defensive, only weathered the strong attacks for a minute more before one broke through his guard and caught him deeply in the side. After that, it simply was a matter of Naruto disposing of him. Odin strikes the butt of his spear once more on the ground, and all the dead rise up and they appear back in the long hall, with tables full of food and mead. Uzumaki Naruto, you have come into our home and pitted yourself against the finest souls in Valhalla, with nothing more than your physical power and skill. The gods of the Aesir and Vanir stand in admiration of your accomplishments, and welcome you as if you are one of us. You have become Freya's champion this month. Please approach our table, Odin exclaims. Naruto, tired, covered in blood, and his outfit ruined, approaches the table of the gods with a big smile on his face. His eyes widen as he sees the beauty of Freya, as he can safely say that she is the most beautiful woman he has ever seen. Standing at 5 feet 7 inches with long silver hair, purple eyes, in one of the most provocative outfits he has ever seen, a black dress-like thing with a red trim that exposes most of her stomach and breasts. Her body is perfectly proportioned with a chest that is DD cup or slightly larger, and he can tell with every step she takes that it is firm too. If Naruto was any other man, he would have a nosebleed just like almost all the men around him do. But Naruto, the creator of the harem jutsu and student of the legendary super pervert himself, has become inoculated to gaining a nosebleed from looking at a woman. Hell, he considers it impossible for him to gain a nosebleed, period. Vala watches on, herself feeling attracted to Freya. She shakes her head to dispel the thought, but it doesn't seem to be working. It's her aura hatchling. Everyone caught up in it will instantly feel an attraction toward her, regardless of their preferences. It's why most love goddesses, while not super powerful, can definitely be dangerous. It seems she is trying to charm your sensei, Albion tells her. Vala's eyes widen as she realizes that this goddess is trying to seduce her sensei. Vala looks to Sif, who has her own nosebleed of golden ichor, as she watches the curiously. She looks around as literally every single god, goddess, and warrior has a nosebleed except Naruto. Even she has one. And she is 13. Naruto stops right in front of Freya, where her aura is at its strongest, and still doesn't have a nosebleed. Freya takes a napkin that she materializes in her hand and wipes the blood off Naruto's face. She then pulls Naruto's head down so that it is directly looking into her bosom and gives him a kiss on the forehead. When she lets him back up, her smile gets even wider as she sees that he has still yet to gain a nosebleed. Meanwhile, Naruto is internally freaking out. I will not be like Erosenin and get a nosebleed. I am not a pervert. I can do this. She nearly had me there, but I survived. My blood is staying in my body, thank you very much. He yells in his head as Kurama laughs loudly. If it was possible for him to have a nosebleed, he would have. Kit bang her. She is a literal goddess of beauty, love, lust and warfare. Can't top that. Isn't this why you practiced at the brothels that your sensei took you to? Kurama seriously says. This has nothing to do with him wanting to see her naked. None at all. Shut up, you stupid fox. She is married. To Odin no less. Naruto yells at him as he looks at the goddess. He gets a cold shiver up his spine as he looks into her eyes and sees lust with a tint of a desire to break him. My, aren't you an interesting one? Freya says softly, her voice somehow curious with a heavy dose of lust. She leans in next to his ear and whispers, maybe you would like to have a good time with me? Naruto sniffles, not letting the blood that almost ran out of his nose show as he looks curiously at her, and then his gaze shifts to Odin, who is standing there watching. Freya, recognizing where his gaze went, whispers, oh, don't worry about that old man. We may be technically married, but neither of us has been that way with each other for centuries. He takes lovers, I take lovers, and we continue onward. She pulls away, her intent known clear for basically all to see that she wants this warrior in front of her. Thank you for the magnificent battle, Uzumaki Naruto, she states loudly, adding a sensual tone to his name. All the warriors look at him in jealous, and in respect for gaining the attention of the goddess of beauty. Interestingly, the gods and goddesses look on in pity. Why do you all look at sensei like that? Vala questions. Because dear, Freya's favorite pastime is to break young men and then discard them like yesterday's trash, Shafa says sadly. As a love goddess, she can understand the desire of Freya, but strives to not do such a thing to her own lovers. Yeah, I am sorry, kid, but your sensei is screwed. Freya is insatiable. She will hound after him until she takes everything and then leaves an empty husk of a man. It's why no male god will be with her anymore. It can take them decades to get over it. Only Odin has been able to resist, and that's because of his power and his other wife Frigg. They also haven't lain together in nearly 600 years, Honor says. Let the feast begin, Odin announces when a great clamor erupts. None of the warriors hold grudges from the battle, as each fought with their absolute best. With attention is no longer on Freya and Naruto, the former drags the latter away by his hand. Vala, heeding the words of the gods and goddesses, runs after them. She rushes into door behind the table of the gods and grabs Naruto's hand just as he was about to enter a bedroom with Freya. The goddess looks down at the little girl with an amused smile on her face. Sensei, Vala pleads, something she hasn't once done before, making her puppy eyes no jutsu a critical hit. Please come back to the party with me. You have to be hungry after the battle, right? Especially since you didn't take your weights off. Freya is slightly surprised that he was wearing weights during that whole performance, but that only makes her want him more. He is truly a man among men. She deserves to have him all to herself. Vala-kun, right? I think Naruto would much rather take a shower and go to bed with me, right, Naruto-kun? I mean, that's how every warrior should be treated after such a long-fought battle, she says with a lustful smile. Naruto is honestly torn right now between the two, and Kurama screaming in his head to fuck the goddess is not helping. On one side, he definitely wants to have sex with Freya. It would rank right up there in his greatest experiences ever, like being treated like a hero after pain and defeating Kagaya. On the other side is his apprentice, begging, which she never does while using the puppy eyes no jutsu that no man can resist. Truly, he is screwed. Well, I need to take a shower regardless. I don't feel clean whatsoever, he states with Freya's grin getting wider. I heard a rumor that they are going to be serving ramen soon, Vala yells, and Naruto stands straight like he has been struck by a lightning bolt. I guess I can take a quick shower and eat. Resting can always come after, he states as he opens the door to the room and runs to the shower. Thank Odin-sama that the bathrooms are modern. Freya looks a little lost as the man she was about to lay with ditched her for ramen of all things. She looks down and sees the little girl with a smile on her face, and she glares at her. He will be mine, she states with confidence. I am not letting you turn him into an empty husk of a man. He is my sensei, and that's the way he will always be, Vala says as she stomps her foot and glares at the goddess. Good luck with that little girl. Your lie will only work once, she states as she walks back towards the feast. Normally, she won't stick around, but with a prize like this she has to. A couple minutes later, Naruto walks out, dressed in a suit without a tie, just like he arrived at Asgard in. What? He didn't want to come underdressed. Well, let's go eat some ramen, Naruto says excitedly, rejuvenated from his shower. When he walks back out to the table of the gods, many of them are looking at him in shock. He just assumes it's because he was so awesome in the fight. Hey Sif and Shaf. Thanks for watching after Vala while I was battling, Naruto says with a grin. Both are looking at him with curious gazes. Naruto-kun, we weren't expecting you back for a while. What changed? Shaf questions. Many gods and goddesses listen in, curious as to why he didn't sleep with Freya right then. Well, I heard there was going to be ramen, he says with a bright smile. So, where is it? When will it be ready? He questions, getting a gleam on insanity and hunger in his eye. Everyone that heard him is dumbfounded that he turned down Freya for ramen. It might be her first rejection ever. This is definitely going down in Nordic history. Freya, meanwhile, is drinking a glass of wine, appearing calm, though you can tell by the indentations of her golden chalice that she is angry. If ramen is coming, it won't be here for a while, Naruto Sif informs him. Naruto pouts at that as he is going to have to wait for his ramen. Honor comes up to him and gives him a mug of mead. Come, my friend. Let us rejoice as you retell tales of your battle right now for all of us to hear, he says, pulling him away. Several of the goddesses watch him with lust, none more so than Freya. I just have to keep Freya away from him. I can do it, Vala repeats in her head. The lack of sleep is going to catch up with her sooner or later, however, and that is when Freya is going to strike. Hatchling, it's simple. You merely have to have him get with another before Freya gets to him, Albion informs her, and Vala nods her head in agreement. It's genius. She looks directly to her left to where Shafn is standing, and she sees the lust in her eyes as well. Walking up to her, Vala says, Hey Shafn, why don't you go talk to him? Me? She questions with a blush on her face. I don't think that is a very good idea. I could draw Freya's ire. She may be the goddess of lust, beauty, love, and warfare, but she is also one of the most powerful gods in all of Norse mythology. Vala turns back to Naruto, who went down with Honor to the tables of the warriors and is drinking, singing, and recounting with the rest of them. It seems he is very popular with the warriors as they now respect him for fighting against them and winning. In fact, several of the beautiful girl warriors are seemingly snuggling up to Naruto. She glances over at Freya, who still looks confident as she stares down her prey. And so, my watch begins, Vala thinks with a sigh. It's been hours, how many Vala doesn't know, of her just watching her sensei. She has conversed with Sif and Shafn, both of whom she really likes, but she hasn't once dropped her guard. She can feel her eyes drooping though, so she needs something to happen fast or she will have to take matters into her own hands. Her sensei is in the middle of recounting a story about the war he fought in, the warriors enthralled. Two women, each extremely beautiful by mortal and supernatural standards, are clinging to his sides. She can tell that he is drunk, as are the rest of them, with his speech not being completely coherent. It seems the fox is planning something as well. A couple minutes later, the two girls whisper something in Naruto's ear, who eagerly nods, and they all stand up together. Many of the warriors around him start shouting out encouragement and praise, causing him to blush and grin while the girl warriors giggle. They each hold on to an arm as they drag him toward the doors of the bedrooms. Vala breathes a sigh of relief as it seems her sensei is in the clear from Freya. I am going to go get some rest now, she tells the two goddesses, each nodding their head. In her tiredness, she completely misses Freya's grin of victory. Freya watches as her prey goes back with two beautiful women. Any man would agree that they would be lucky to lay with one of them, let alone two. Yet, if they are compared to her, they look like trash that no one would touch with a 10-foot pole. They did, however, get that annoying little thorn out of her side, and so they should be commended for that. Said thorn just went to sleep, thinking that her beloved sensei is safe from her. Freya rolls her eyes at such a naive way of thinking. Naruto going back with two women means nothing to her. She will simply go back, kick them out of the room, and lay with him. She can't help it if he falls utterly in love with her afterwards and completely forgets about his student. It matters not to her. He is a simple plaything to pass the time. All men are. She gets up from the table and walks back to the bedrooms, with several of her fellow gods eyeing her. She cares not for what they think. She is more powerful than almost all of them, and has laid with most of them too. many in the distant past. None were memorable. She opens the door to the room where she senses the three of them, with both girls already completely naked making out with him as he fondles them. She can't blame them. She lusts after him too, after all. They all pause as they see her walk in with a smile on her face. "You two get out," she says with authority. The two girls think about their options for a second, before extracting themselves from Naruto, grabbing their clothes, and running out of the room. Freya shuts the door and adds a powerful barrier to it, in order to make sure they are not interrupted and that he can't leave before she has had her fill. Freya gains a gleam in her eye as she stares down Naruto, her eyes roaming his perfectly muscled body. She licks her lips as she flares her powers a bit, and her clothes disappear in a snap of her fingers. The drunk Naruto smiles perversely at the goddess, though no blood leaves his nose, as his eyes roam her body. Freya walks over to him with a sway in her hips, and lies down directly on top of him. "I hope you are ready now, are you, Takun?" she says seductively as she traces a finger over his chest. Naruto responds by planting his lips to her as they begin hours of debauchery together. Inside Naruto, Kurama chuckles as it all went according to his plan. Vala wakes up slowly. The warm embrace of the first sheets of slain animals try to drag her back to blissful land of dreams. She had a wonderful dream, where she finally beat her sensei in taijutsu and he gave her a proud smile. She drags herself out of bed, her clothes ruffled from being slept in. She walks into the bathroom and takes a long shower to wake herself up. Using her magic to dry and clothe herself, she steps out of the room looking like she did when they entered through the gates of Valhalla. "That feels like forever ago. I just want to go back to the forest and train with sensei," she admits to herself. She honestly doesn't care for all this partying and socializing. She likes seeing new places, but Freya is ruining this trip for her. She doesn't want to worry about her sensei leaving her. She doesn't want to feel the pain of loneliness again. Even at home with her mother, who tried to help her but never stood up to her father, she felt alone. She opens the door back to the feast, seeing it going on in full swing. If anything, it has gotten even rowdier. She sees Odin grope a Valkyrie, something that doesn't surprise her at all. What's more, his wife Frigg is sitting next to him and doesn't look disturbed at all. She looks around for Naruto, but doesn't spot him. She frowns as it has definitely been a while. Maybe he is sleeping as well? It would make sense. If she fought that battle, she would have wanted to sleep for a week. She spots Sif, Shaf, and Honer, all looking at her with some sympathy and pity. Confused, she walks up to them, seeing Honer chug his entire glass of mead and sigh afterward. She starts to worry as something must be wrong. "I am sorry, child. None of us wish to get on her bad side," Honer says with sorrow lacing his voice. She furrows her brow confused for a moment, before her eyes widen in panic and she looks around for Freya. Her pupils frantically scan everywhere, but the goddess of beauty is nowhere to be seen. "But sensei went back with 2 warriors. I saw them," she says desperately, denying the truth in front of her. Shafn bends down and hugs the child. "Sweetie, Freya doesn't care about that. After you went to bed, she simply went back there and kicked them out. They have been back there together for 16 hours, Shafn says softly. Tears well up in Vala's eyes. Sensei will be alright, Vala says with resolutely. She has to believe he will be. She needs him to continue being her sensei. She doesn't want to be alone again. Maybe, child. Who knows? Shafn says comfortingly as she runs her fingers through Vala's hair, but it doesn't sound like she truly believes her words. They bring her over to a table and try to cheer her up, to no avail. She is grateful, but she doesn't want to hear anything they have to say. All she wants is to go home with her sensei. Home? I guess I really do consider it my home, Vala thinks sadly as she sips on some water. Even Albion doesn't give her any encouraging words. Vala looks out at all the warriors at the feast, and her eyebrows raise and her mouth opens slightly in shock as she sees several people having sex on the middle of the tables, to the loud cheers of the others. Our warriors have always been very open with their desires and way of thinking. It is much different than the way of the world now, Sif says beside her. I really don't know much about the world, Vala says as she turns to Sif, who looks on at the display with a bit of a blush. Well, with the spread of the Christianity-Jewish-Muslim faction, many of the sexual liberties found in other societies was extinguished. Their God and angels believe having sex should only happen in loving, married couples, and the church ruthlessly squashed any other way of thinking, Shafn informs her. Not to mention how they ruthlessly cut down our followers, burned our shrines, and forced their way of life on them, Sif says with some anger. None of the factions opposed as the biblical God is extremely strong, more so than almost any of the other gods, and his angels are no joke either. We didn't make alliances with the fallen and devil factions either, as they also didn't oppose what the church was doing. More territory for them operate in, Honor adds in. Yes, my husband truly wanted to go to war with them, but Odin forbade it. It was a tense time, Sif says. It's why we don't openly talk to other factions, Shafin finishes. Vala is fascinated by what they are telling her, so much so that she forgets about her sensei for a bit. She looks back at the warriors in the heat of passion, and a slight blush creeps onto her face. The door behind the table of the gods opens, and all the gods and goddesses are shocked at what they are seeing. Naruto looking tired, but with a huge smile on his face and a confident swagger in his step. Sensei Vala screams as she runs toward him and hugs him with tears running down her face. Naruto, slightly confused, asks what's wrong, Vala-chan. I thought that you might have left me, she says with sobs. Naruto ruffles her hair and says, you don't have to worry about that, my apprentice. I promised to protect you and not leave you alone, right? She nods her head, which is still buried into his stomach. Naruto looks up and still sees the shocked faces on the crowd. He picks up whispers of conversation. Impossible. His strength of will. How much power? Numerous murmurings of the same thing come from all of them, and many of the women look at him with lust in their eyes. Honestly, it reminds him of when he gained fangirls and is slightly freaking him out. Naruto walks over to the goddesses he met before, with Vala not letting go of his arm. He thinks her reaction is a little extreme. I mean, he only left for a bit. It isn't like he disappeared for weeks. As he approaches, he sees Honor looking at him in a bit of awe, Shafin sporting a major blush, and Sif just has a surprised look on her face. So, anyone want to tell me what this is all about? He questions with a laugh. Seriously, some of the gazes are starting to weird him out. You slept with Freya, Honor says. Vala grips him harder after she hears that. So? Naruto questions with a frown. Dude, you slept with Freya? He just says louder. Naruto-kun, Shafin says, drawing his attention toward her, and her face turns redder. Sleeping with Freya almost always means that you become completely charmed by her. It's like her aura, only 100x more powerful. You basically become her slave/plaything that cares for nothing else until she tires of you, and it takes decades for you to get over it. It's why Vala thought you were going to leave her. It takes someone of immense willpower and strength to not fall under her charms, or if they do, to pull themselves out. Even Odin, the man who was able to understand the runes of the fates through sheer willpower, was not able to completely pull himself out for a while. Naruto is shocked by the information. Thinking back on it, he definitely lost himself to lust for a bit, but that's just normal during sex with someone that beautiful, right? Who wouldn't want to ravish her? You also outlasted her, Honor says in awe. Yeah, Naruto says, embarrassed about talking about the sex he just had. That has never happened, Sif informs him. Naruto grins a bit when hearing that. One thing he can truly take pride in is that no one has the stamina to match him. Shadow Clone Jutsu for the win. To us gods, this is probably the most memorable thing that has happened in the past century, Shafin says as she brushes her body up against Naruto. Not a single man in the 9 realms has accomplished that, and believe me, nearly all have tried. Naruto blanches a bit as that is a lot of men. Yes, he tries not to judge people, but it's hard not to when you hear something like that. Still, he can take pride in his accomplishment. Sensei, let's go home, Vala says as she pulls her hand and him away from Shafin, much to his displeasure. He does like a beautiful girl rubbing up against him, just like any man. He is definitely not a pervert. But Vala-chan, don't you want to see more of the Asgard and the other realms? He questions. Vala deadpans. Honestly, Sensei, no. I want to train in the forest, just the two of us like it has been. Well, Naruto trails off. Please, Sensei, Vala says using her puppy eye no jutsu again, instantly destroying his resistance. Alright. Let's go at least say goodbye to Erogigi before we leave, Naruto says with a nod, getting a smile from Vala. You will eventually come back to see us, right, Naruto-kun? Shafin asks with a pout. Of course I will. Naruto promises instantly. He really does want to come back and visit all the realms and maybe get in another battle. He really learned a lot. See you later, he says with a small wave as Vala is already dragging him toward Odin so that they can get back home. She doesn't want her sensei to be anywhere near Freya anymore. The gods laugh as they see him dragged away. Yo, Erogigi. Naruto calls out, getting Odin's attention, and the Valkyrie he is harassing takes that moment to run away. Ah, Naruto, my boy, I am honestly surprised to see you here. Thought you were a goner, Odin says with a hearty chuckle. Naruto blushes a bit in embarrassment. Yeah, sorry about that ROGG, Naruto says, hoping the All-Father isn't mad about him banging his wife. Odin waves his concerns away. It is a marriage in name only now. Nothing to be worried about. What do you think of Valhalla? He asks. It's awesome. Definitely a place I would want to go if I died, Naruto says honestly. He could honestly say this would be some shinobi's dream afterlife, like Zabuza. I am glad you think so. What do you think, little Lucifer? It's exhausting, Vala honestly says. Ha 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 ha, for a young lady like you with her sensei here, I bet it would be, Odin chuckles. Anyway, ROGG, thanks for letting us see this place, but Vala-chan wants to go home now. I promise to come back and visit. Naruto promises and Odin just nods his head. Yes, I can imagine why she wants to leave. And if you do, make sure to bring the next copy of Ika Ika, Odin says with a perverted grin. Naruto rolls his eyes as his magic circle activates underneath the two, transporting them away. Naruto and Vala appear in the middle of their house and Vala gives him a tight hug. Naruto, chuckling, returns it and says, tomorrow we are beginning your training once again. Vala looks up at her sensei, a bright smile on her face. Hi. A couple hours later, just before it is time for the baths, Freya walks back to the table of the gods. All of them look at her with confusion, shock, and intrigue as they want to know what happened behind closed doors with Uzumaki Naruto. Dressed in her attire from before, though her hair is tumbled and out of place as if she hasn't bothered to fix herself up after having sex, she marches right up to Odin with determination plastered on her face and a gleam in her eye. She flares her power, getting everyone to instantly become quiet, and she turns to face Odin, who has a small look of confusion on his face. Odin, I want a divorce. Vala grins as she delivers a left hook that hits her sensei in the side. She continues to grin as she gets a hard knee in the stomach, sending her flying back and tumbling on the ground. Ha ha, I finally did it, Sensei, Vala pants, still grinning as she coughs up a little blood. I finally hit you. Ha ha ha, good job, Vala-chan. You honestly caught me off guard there, which is an extremely hard thing to do, Naruto says, smiling as he proudly looks down at the 13-year-old on the ground with bruises all over her. If someone saw Vala walking down the street, they would probably think she is being horribly abused. Vala pulls herself up off the ground, wiping the blood away from her mouth as she still grins victoriously. It's been several months since they went to visit the Norse pantheon, and she has been trying hard ever since. Every time her sensei brings up potentially going somewhere to travel, she has pleaded to stay and train. She doesn't want another Freya incident. He is my sensei. Mine. Vala thinks to herself as she looks at him. I think we should call it a day on that note, Vala-chan, Naruto says, and she gives him a tired nod. She trudges her way back to their house, too tired to make any conversation with her sensei. She glances over at him and doesn't find a hint of the tiredness she feels. He isn't the one getting beaten to a pulp every single day. You should take a rest from training, Albion informs her, slightly worried about his charge. She hasn't taken a day off at all, each day working herself to the bone. Naruto hasn't said anything about her work ethic either. In fact, he seems to think that it is normal and encourages it. Hell no! It might be torture, but Sensei is making me stronger, Vala says to Albion. Albion rolls his eyes from inside the gear at this girl's stubbornness. She must have picked it up from Naruto. Listen, why don't you ask Naruto to take you shopping tomorrow? Most of your clothes have been destroyed in training, even with the reinforcement seals Naruto has put on them, and your body has been growing, Albion suggests. Vala reaches her room and strips, wanting to immediately hop in the shower. She looks at herself in the mirror, disregarding all the bruises and scars on her body. It seems she has hit puberty, as her once flat chest is now starting to bud into small breasts, and she has had her first period 2 months ago. When she told Naruto, he went so red in the face and stammered out that he would buy some feminine hygiene products for her. She honestly doesn't know how he can be so squeamish talking about such things, yet totally fine with pretty much everything else. That is true, plus, I still would be with Sensei. Okay, I guess I can do that, Vala says, and Albion sighs in relief. Vala may become his most powerful host ever, but she definitely needs more balance. As she is in the shower, she starts using magic to start healing her bruises. She isn't great at healing magic, but her sensei insists on her learning it. The black and blue spots soon fade, leaving her skin a nice milky white. She gets out of the shower feeling refreshed, dresses, and drags herself downstairs for food. She sees her sensei making ramen and several different vegetables. He told her once that he only makes those to not stunt her growth. Sensei, she calls out to him, getting a questioning hum in return. Can you take me shopping tomorrow for new clothes? Sure. That sounds like fun. And it looks like you healed yourself. Good. I don't want people to think I beat you, Naruto says as he continues to cook. But you do, Sensei, Vala deadpants. You know what I mean. Naruto nervously chuckles out. Vala rolls her eyes, but has a small smile on her face. The next morning Naruto and Vala set out, not before Naruto creates his usual 1,000 clones to practice. Lately, his clones have been working on Kenjutsu, the fire version of his Raisin Shuriken, which is almost complete, learning different fire jutsus, and a squad that are just experimenting with different things like creating new jutsus and seals. He personally has been working on hand seal speed as it is atrocious, magic, and Goken. Vala is still only working on taijutsu, battle awareness, and her magic. No sacred gear training. Naruto believes it should be her trump card, not the thing she relies on to win. He'd say that her taijutsu is around mid-chunin level, which after only a year is amazing progress. Battle awareness is a work in progress still, as she can get tunnel vision on her opponent. It's a tough thing to develop, though pain is steadily making her become better. Magic-wise, he has no real clue as he has no basis, but he thinks she is doing well. Naruto and Vala hop into Naruto's car, an orange Lamborghini. Does he need one? Certainly not. Does it look awesome? Hell yes. He eventually wants to get a red spiral painted on the hood. This is also his second time driving it, but it's really easy once you get the hang of it. Sensei, do we have to drive? Vala asks as it is an hour drive to Berlin. She'd rather just teleport. Of course, Vala-chan. We need to blend in and humans drive cars, Naruto says with a smile. You just want to drive again, Vala accuses. Yup. They hop in and Naruto guns it, taking around 30 minutes to get onto a highway, and Naruto goes nearly 150 miles per hour, weaving in and out of traffic. Valley, meanwhile, is just listening to music and relaxing. As they pull into Berlin and park on the street, many people are pointing at them and commenting on how amazing their car is. Vala tries to fix her hair as the wind made it wild, while Naruto takes all the attention in stride with a wide grin on his face. As they walk down the street to several stores, either notices a bat familiar high above spot them. Sensei, does this look good on me? Vala asks as she comes out of the dressing room. She has on dark skinny jeans and a maroon shirt that flatters her well. Naruto gives her a once-over and nods. Yes, but I thought we were getting training clothes? Naruto asks. Well, I thought I could buy some other clothes as well. The others are getting small too, Vala says and looks at him pleadingly. Vala, get whatever you want. You know money isn't a problem, Naruto says with a wave of his hand. He looks back down at a magazine that goes on about celebrities. He really doesn't care about it, but he is so bored. Shopping is such a chore to him. After they exit this store, Naruto finds himself holding 7 shopping bags and they just started. He clearly needs to use magic to send these back to the house. They start walking down the street to another store, with Vala walking as close to him as possible. Kit, Kurama says. Yeah, I know Kurama. That guy looked like he was watching us, Naruto says as he continues to walk, acting like nothing is wrong. He expands his senses, trying to feel for anything supernatural, and he feels the signature of a devil. Naruto grabs Vala's hand, confusing her, and starts walking away from the stores. Sensei? We have unexpected company, Naruto says evenly. Vala's eyes widen and almost tries to look around before her training kicks in. She expands her senses and continues to walk normally. She finds the person Naruto is talking about, and she can feel he definitely has a decent amount of magical reserves. Naruto eventually takes her to a park and creates a simple magical barrier to keep humans out of the park and to make all electronics go dark. Naruto and Vala turn around to face the man behind him. Ho ho, so you sense me. Still, I'd expect nothing less from the stray of the Leviathan, the man says, complimenting him. So, what do you want? Naruto asks. Well, I am a stray devil hunter, and you are one of the biggest fish on the market, the man says, shrugging. The council, embarrassed that a peerage member ran away from a Mao, labeled you an SS class stray and is offering a huge bounty for your head. So, I am here to collect. Naruto's eyebrows raise. Oh, SS class, huh? You know, where I am from, people with that classification had a runaway on site order attached to it. What makes you so confident? Simple. I am not alone, he says, and 20 magic circles appear. 20 other devils appear in front of them with cocky sneers on their faces. Vala tenses, anger radiating off of her. How dare they talk about taking her sensei away from her? He is hers. She will kill anyone who tries. Naruto, on the other hand, isn't disturbed at all. He himself has higher magical reserves than each individual here. He glances over at Vala and is a little surprised to feel the sheer anger and ki directed at the devils in front of them. He places a hand on her shoulder and gives her a soft smile. Don't worry. Even you have higher magical reserves than most of them. There is no way these small fry can beat me, Naruto states calmly. Vala calms down a little and nods her head stiffly, though her hands are still balled up. So, you want to dance? Naruto asks with an eyebrow raised. Internally, he is freaking out as he always wanted to say that. Say what you will about Madara, but some of his phrases are pretty badass. What? The devil bounty hunters ask, sweat dropping. Ignoring them, he takes off his weights on his arms and legs and holds them up. Vala does the same. Last chance to leave before you all die, Naruto says ominously. Some of the devils start sweating as the pressure he is exerting is affecting them. Still, the reward is too great to run away from. Alright, Naruto says and drops his weights, creating 2 craters and dust flies up. Vala does the same and in movement so fast that none of the devils can see, he appears in front of the leader and punches his head with such force that it breaks his neck and he dies instantly. Every devil is wide-eyed, unbelieving of what they just saw. Vala soon follows her sensei's lead, though at a speed not nearly as fast, and starts fighting one of them. They engage in hand-to-hand combat for a bit, Vala's superior and unfamiliar technique allowing her to compete with the older devil's brute strength. She lands several good hits in the stomach and knee, only getting hit once in the side. Her opponent backs up and creates a magic circle in front of him, sending lightning at Vala. She simply creates a magical barrier in front of her, before sending an overwhelming amount of fire back at him. Eyes widened, the devil hastily erects his own barrier, barely holding off the fire, but he can feel the heat. Vala, not fazed at all by him blocking her magic, creates another magic circle before her eyes widen and she immediately jumps out of the way. Not a moment too soon either, as an earth spike that would have skewered her appears at her last position. Scowling, she creates 2 magic circles, one on each hand, and sends a massive fire dragon, something she created by seeing Naruto's jutsu, at her original opponent and sends lightning the other. Her first opponent smirks as this should be easy now and flies out of the way of the dragon. His eyes widen as the dragon follows him. He takes hasty evasive maneuvers before sending a large amount of water at the dragon, extinguishing it. He then sends arrows of demonic magic at the girl, trying to take advantage of her attention being focused on her other opponent. Vala dodges the arrows, just barely, and she needs to get her 2 opponents both in front of her. One behind and in front of her is not ideal. She quickly runs a bit away, creating a magical barrier protecting herself from another lightning strike. Now that she can see both her opponents, that conveniently grouped together back on the ground. Idiots. Vala creates another fire dragon, this one larger than the last, and sends it flying at them. The devils decide to both create a magical wall and the fire dragon cracks it, but ultimately doesn't get through. How much magical energy does this little girl have? One of them shouts. He can feel that most of his reserves are already gone. Vala this time rushes them, throwing several fireballs while dodging some lightning. She is getting increasingly frustrated that she hasn't ended the fight already. Her sensei trained her better than this. The fireballs are dodged as the devils take to the sky. She unleashes her own wings, the 6 devil wings shocking her opponents, and they falter for a split second. Vala shoots lightning this time, she isn't as strong with it as fire, and it connects with one of them. He cries out in pain and Vala goes for the kill. She creates a ginormous fireball and blasts it at him, before instantly attacking the other devil, not allowing him a chance to defend his friend. She hears a scream of pain behind her, knowing that it hit, and she now only has one opponent. She charges in and they engage in a taijutsu battle in midair. She manages to get under his guard and kick him in the balls. As he cries out in pain, she backs up and creates 2 more fire dragons and sends it at him, manipulating them both. The devil tries to fly away from it, but she traps him and he is burned to ashes. She looks around for her next opponent, only to see her sensei standing there with his arms crossed and the other 18 devils dead. He is giving her a strange look, one full of proudness and sorrow. She is confused about the latter, as all she did was kill the. Oh, those were my first kills, Vala thinks to herself as she lands. Surprisingly, she doesn't really care at all. They tried to take away her sensei. Death is what they deserved. She has also seen people killed in front of her many times back when she was still with her father and grandfather. Bastards. Good job, hatchling. You did me and your sensei proud, Albion says. She didn't even need his power to kill 2 more experienced high-class level devils. Naruto appears right in front of her and gives her a hug. She happily accepts and tightens her arms around him. Do you feel alright? Naruto asks quietly as they hug each other. whom she hums happily as she tries to further bury herself into him. I am sorry you had to do that, Naruto says softly. She looks up at his cerulean blue eyes and shakes her head. It's okay, sensei. Those guys were trying to take you away from me. You are mine. They deserve to die, she says with a smile. Naruto's eyebrows raise up when he hears that. She worded that very peculiarly. Ha 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 ha, oh kid, at least you didn't raise an Uchiha. Kurama laughs in his mind. What do you mean, Kurama? Naruto questions as he pulls Vala back into the embrace. He creates 2 clones to collect anything of note, dispose of the bodies, and clean up the area. Remember? She can take on draconic traits. And what are dragons famous for besides pride? Greed, Kit. She is looking at you like an Akimichi looks at food. Kurama snickers. Naruto's sweat drops, but in all honesty, he doesn't mind. Way better than an Uchiha. Way better. Well, come on, Vala-chan. Let's put our weights back on and finish our shopping, Naruto says. Vala nods and releases him. Naruto looks down at himself and grimaces at the blood stains. He was pretty messy going through those devils. He just wanted to make sure he could help Vala if she needed it. That's a sensei's duty after all. He uses magic to change his outfit to the same exact one, just not bloody. This is honestly one of the most convenient things about magic in his mind. That, and he can now teleport. His progress with Horatian is non-existent. His clones dispel and the park looks better, though several patches are still burnt from Vala's fire magic. Ah well, he did his best. He walks over and reattaches his weights, but frowns. Sure, it's badass to drop the weights and look cool, but it is inefficient in battle. I think there is a seal I can adapt to paint on our bodies, Naruto muses. That's a thing for later though. Today is for finishing their shopping. Come on, Vala-chan, Naruto says as he holds out his hand. She happily accepts it and smiles. He is her sensei. And he isn't going anywhere. In the underworld, the 4 Mao are in an emergency meeting to discuss the stray devil Uzumaki Naruto. Each is seated around a circular table, with Fabrium asleep, Ajuka tinkering with some sort of device, Sarah Fall inspecting her wand, and Surzex looking at a picture of his cute little Rias. Cough, Surzex-sama, may I suggest that you start the meeting now? Graphia, dressed in her maid uniform, says politely from behind him. Ah yes. Thank you, Graphia, Surzex says as he puts away the photo. We are here to discuss Uzumaki Naruto. He was spotted in Berlin, Germany with a young girl around 13 with silver hair. It was reported that he was acting like her caretaker, however, we have no idea who the girl is. Regardless, Fran Verzes, a high-class devil that is a stray bounty hunter, spotted him and confronted him with 20 others of high-class level power as backup. It is believed that they all perished in a fight against Naruto in a park in Berlin. There was evidence of fire magic used there, he explains to his other Maos. It sounds like he is at least mid-ultimate class and strength, Ajuka comments, as he puts down his device. Indeed. In fact, he continued to shop with the girl after the fight, Surzex says. Mao bad Narutan. Abandoning me after I turned him into my very first peerage member. I wasn't going to treat him like a slave. It's caused me so many problems, Seraphal says with a pout. She was really sad when Naruto ran out on her. Many people scoff behind her back now about how she can't control a single peerage member. She can't even look for him with her Mao duties. Privately, many devils admit to themselves that they would probably go stray too if they had Seraphal as their master. Still, she is a Mao and it looks terrible if someone goes stray from one of their peerages, so they put a huge bounty on his head. This way it reinforces the perception that it is not acceptable to turn stray. Regardless, what should we do about this? Surzex asks. Seraphal, what is your estimation of his strength? Ajuka asks. I don't really know, as he was very injured when I found him. All I know is that he had chakra when I reincarnated him, but I didn't see any traits of yokai, except he had 3 whisker marks on each cheek. They were so cute. Seraphal squeals. So Yujitsu and possibly Senjutsu in addition to any devil magic he has been able to learn. Ajuka speaks his mind aloud. Troublesome. Just put out a warning that only ultimate class devils should attack him if they value their lives, Fabrium says as he yawns. Alright, that is acceptable. They should have realized he is dangerous with the rating we gave him anyway. Should we look into the young girl as well? Surzex asks. Surzex, we have more important things to do than look for records of a little girl that he picked up who knows where in the past year, Ajuka says as he rolls his eyes. I guess you are right, Surzex says with a sigh. So Seraphal, any word on what is happening in the Norse faction? Well, from what I have heard is that the Vanir and Aesir gods are about to go to war again. There are rumors that is all over Freya wanting a divorce, Seraphal informs them. Is there a reason Freya wants a divorce? They have been married for over millennia and I have heard it's a marriage in name only now, Surzex asks. Apparently, it's over a man. However, none of the people I talked to know the name as the gods didn't want to give it out and risk Freya's wrath. Hell, apparently, Odin likes the guy too, Seraphol says exasperated. None of her charms worked. Anyhow, Odin has gone on another one of his journeys to figure out what to do. He has 15 more days to give his answer or else war starts anew. This is causing waves across all the factions, most preparing for war themselves to pick up the pieces. Seraphol finishes with a sigh. Seriously, what kind of guy would make Freya act like this? Seraphol heard she was a slut of the highest order, and only considered men as playthings. Well, that is certainly troubling. At least they still have time to rectify it. Maybe we should prepare our own forces? Surzex wonders out loud. He doesn't want another war, but it would be wise to prepare for one. Ajuka scoffs. We don't need to get into that shit show should it happen. Let the others fight over it, he tells his best friend. Seraphol nods her head in agreement. They all look over to see Fabrium snoring loudly. Everyone develops a large sweat drop at just how easily he can fall asleep. Well, I think that covers everything. We will inform the council of our decisions tomorrow, Surzex says, and they all teleport out of the room, back to their respective domains. Odin is stupefied. Having been around for millennia and constantly pursuing new knowledge, as well as women, he thought he knew everything to come. His sacrifice of his eye to Mimir to drink from the well of Urd in order to gain wisdom beyond all others, along with stabbing himself with his spear and hanging off the branch of Yggdrasil for 9 days and nights to be able to understand the primordial runes, made him confident in the future. Of how Ragnarok will come, and he will be one day killed by Fenrir if they don't fight with any other faction. Now, he isn't so sure. His wife Freya wants a divorce, something he never saw coming. All because of a devil. However, said devil is the Toad Sage, so he can't hate him. Besides, he highly doubts the poor Sob even knows what he caused. He'll certainly end up getting more than he bargained for. Nevertheless, this shouldn't be happening. He said as much, and Freya threatened war with him if he doesn't give in. His side will win, as Thor is much stronger than either him or Freya, but it would be a costly, bloody battle. For the first time in millennia he isn't sure what to do. The fate of the Norse faction is up in the air. Why can't life go back to being simple when my biggest concern is what brothel I was going to visit? Odin complains to himself as he climbs down the side of Yggdrasil. His hands tightly grip the outer bark as he lowers himself down careful. One cannot reach the home of the Norn and receive advice without experiencing great hardship. Finally, after 13 days of climbing down Yggdrasil, Odin touches his feet against the soft ground and sees a mist covering the floor. Nearly completely dark, his soul light takes a couple minutes to adjust. He walks forward cautiously as one doesn't tread lightly on the home of the Norns. They could kill him if they so desired. In front of him he sees the small shrine that he built for Mimir. With a weary smile, he walks up to it to see the preserved head open his eyes. It has been a long time since you have last visited this place, Odin the head says as he takes in the tired visage of the god. Indeed, Mimir, it has. I am afraid I am in need of some counseling, Odin says as his eye floats over to the well of Urd, something Mimir notices. You know you may drink from it once more for the original price, Mimir says to Odin. For my other eye? Odin says as he strokes his beard. No, Odin. The original offer, Mimir emphasizes. Odin pales and his hands instinctively cover his groin. Not a chance am I becoming a eunuch. There are even things I won't do for knowledge, Odin vehemently yells. Ha 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 ha, it was worth a shot, Mimir chuckles to himself. The knowledge I seek can't be found in the well, my friend. I must confront the Norns and ask for their advice, Odin grimly says. They may ask for more than me. Must you go to them? Mimir questions. Yes. Freya's decision goes against Ragnarok. I must know if the future has changed and what to do. Do I allow this divorce to happen? Odin sighs. I have heard shouting and bickering coming from them recently. It awoke me from my long slumber, as I thought someone else had traveled down here to make a deal with me, Mimir informs him. No one else wishes to lose an eye. Those fools. I'll see you around, Mimir, Odin says as he walks away from the bodiless giant. Not 5 minutes later, true to Mimir's words, he can hear the bickering and griping of the Norns coming from a grove of roots in front of him. Stupid string. We should burn it. Tie the others around it? Odin's eyebrow raises in surprise. He has never known the Norns to be the sort to be out of sorts. He clears his throat as he approaches and they immediately quiet down. Out of the roots walks a beautiful older woman whose golden hair falls down past her shoulders and her beautiful face is set in an unhappy frown. Why have you come here, traveler? The Norn questions as she looks at the All-Father with a hint of irritation. Wise Norns, I have come to seek your advice. My wife Freya wants to divorce me, but I had not seen nor heard such a thing in the tales before Ragnarok. If I don't divorce her, she will declare war on the Aesir gods. What should I do? Odin questions. How the fuck should I know? The Norn yells and throws her hands up in exasperation and anger. We were all minding our business weaving the fates of gods, and then when all the strings untangled. All of them. What do we find to be the cause of this? A never-before-seen orange string. Odin's eyes widen at seeing the usually all-seeing and calm Norn blow her gasket at his question. Said Norn walks back into the root grove muttering to herself. He makes his way cautiously after her in case she lashes out against him. He walks into the opening and sees two other identical women to the first standing around a loom and spinner with an innumerable amount of strings on the floor. Runes carved into the roots of Yggdrasil have been summarily crossed out, rewritten, and crossed out again. On the loom is a single orange string that they are glaring at it with such a frightful aura that Odin is intimidated. Welcome, Odin. Please excuse our sister's behavior. She is not herself right now. None of us are thanks to this string, one of the other Norns says, turning to him with a smile. I understand that you are completely busy with this problem, but I come to ask a question. Is the future of Ragnarok still true? Odin asks in a serious tone. What you see on the floor is all that is left of Ragnarok, the third Norn mutters in disgust. They spent millennia creating it, and this one stupid string made it all crash. What the Helheim, Odin mutters with his one eye wide in shock. We are going to have to contact her, the second says, getting the other two to look at her like she is insane. Her? No. No. We absolutely can't. We will never be able to live this down. The first yells in anger. But we need to spin a new tapestry. This stupid string isn't letting us do so with any efficiency, the second retorts. Who is her? Odin asked curiously. He didn't know the Norns had anyone to contact regarding the fates of the Norse. Fate, the third murmurs. Odin scrunches his eyebrows in confusion. Fate? But don't you control fate? No one controls fate. It does what it wants. Fate is the crystallization of the concept of fate. Just like Ophis is the infinite given form. We merely are allowed to shape the fates of gods and men at its discretion. Basically, we are its subordinates, the second explains to Odin. Odin is shell-shocked. He thought the power dynamic was the other way around. He has never met fate as it is a recluse. To think that fate actually controls the Norns and by proxy the Norse faction, it must be immensely strong. To call her is so embarrassing, the third says. It must be done, the second retorts. She creates a magic circle and speaks in hushed tones that Odin can't quite hear. Not even a second later, a magic circle appears and out pops a 16-year-old purple-haired girl with Beats by Dr. Dre covering her ears, wearing baggy gray sweats and a juice box in hand. Her golden eyes look about lazily as if she is bored of everyone and everything. Why did fate take this look? She is genderless, but wow, is she gorgeous even in sweats. If only she ages herself a couple years, fufufu, Odin thinks to himself perversely. What's up? The girl says and proceeds to take a sip from her juice box. The three Norns immediately kneel in her presence. Fate-sama, our tapestry is ruined. An orange string that we cannot spin is currently on the loom and resist our most ardent attempts to corral it, the second Norn tells her. What's that have to do with me? Fate asks with disinterest, though her eyes were scrutinizing the orange string. The first Norn gets a bit angry and yells, we were hoping you could actually do something for once. You sound like war. I did something and death scolded me afterward. I shouldn't have killed off the biblical god because war told me to, or so she said. Death laughed at the irony of it causing the war to cease, however. War wasn't happy, Fate says while sipping on her juice box. Her eyes still haven't left the orange string. Odin gasps in shock. The biblical god is dead? No one had seen him in millennia, but he never ventured outside of his heaven and always sent his angels as emissaries. This changes everything. Fate walks over to the orange string and puts her finger on it. She gasps slightly and runs her down the entire length of it. Her once bored eyes now are shining with curiosity. Most curious. There are very, very few strings like this. I guess I'll have to weave it myself, Fate speaks out loud. Each Norn gains wide eyes at that remark. To their knowledge, this has never happened before. Using her power, Fate gently coaxes the string from the loom and it curls up in her hands. Her eyes go back to being bored as soon as they look away from the string. Don't spin anything until I put this string into my personal world tapestry. I'll also tell you what to make. Is that clear? She says with her authority laced in her tone. Each Norn nods their head dutifully. Fate disappears and each Norn rises off the ground. Odin starts backpedaling out of the root grove. Wait, Odin. Surely, you don't think you can get out of here without giving us something in return for our advice? The first Norn says with an undertone of danger present. What advice? I asked if I should divorce Freya and no one said anything about it, Odin answers back warily. You can divorce her. Now as to payment, the third says. Odin gulps. The memory of the biblical god being dead, your wisdom, or your groin. You choose, the second Norn finishes. All in all, it was a pretty easy choice for Odin to make. Now he has to climb back to the top, missing out on the best kept secret in the supernatural world. Of course, he doesn't know that. Vala-chan, I need you to come here, Naruto asks just as she finishes up training her magic. She hardly has any magic left to cast a spell if she needed to defend herself, but she doesn't mind in this safe environment. Besides, it's the best way to gain reserves. She walks over to him, wiping the sweat off her brow. Working with fire magic, specifically fire dragons, can overheat her easily. Why are you pretty much exclusively working on fire magic anyway? Albion questions. Because Sensei is constantly working on his fire jutsu / magic. She responds. Albion's sweat drops at her childish response. You do know that he has his clones working on other things as well, right? Yeah, I do, but he is primarily working on fire, as you can see by those clones exploding while trying to add fire to the Rasengan, so I decided to as well, Vala says. Albion gives up. His host can do what she wants with that training schedule that she has. What is it you need, Sensei? She asks as she cutely tilts her head. Well, I noticed after that fight we had that, while cool, it is inefficient to have to take our weights off in battle. I had a clone adapt a seal that we can draw on our bodies to simulate the effect of weights, and it will make the weight spread out across the body, Naruto explains. Therefore, I need you to strip as it has to be drawn all across your body. Sorry about this, Naruto says. No need, Sensei. It doesn't bother me at all, Vala says as she quickly takes off everything. The cool air of late autumn makes her get goosebumps as she bears all. Naruto immediately sets to work, drawing lines all across her body in quick and efficient strokes. She is always amazed by how precise and fast he is when drawing seals. A couple of times she feels ticklish, but she doesn't dare move in fear of ruining it. Located right above her heart, he draws a swirl and the number 5. He channels his chakra through her, causing her to gasp at the strange, yet warm feeling rushing across her skin. Suddenly, she feels as if she has her weights on again. How does it feel? Naruto questions. It feels like I have my weights on. Good. The only problem is that you need to channel chakra to release the seal, so I am going to have to be the one to do it. I will have to start researching how to make magic-based seals. Sorry, Naruto says. No, don't worry, Sensei. It won't be a problem if you are always with me, Vala says with a shake of her head. Alright. My turn, Naruto says as he creates a clone. He strips as Vala puts back on her clothes. Vala looks at him, her eyes drinking in that of her 18-year-old sensei, and widen as they see the huge scar right where his heart is. She can't believe that he survived that. Her eyes then turn southward and blushes slightly at seeing her sensei's junk. She watches as the clone quickly draws the lines all across his body and the spiral with the number 50 in it. She can't believe her sensei is that much stronger than her. He gets dressed and dismisses the clone. He looks at her with a gleam in his eye and she slightly gulps. Her sensei can sure be scary. You ready to spar, Vala-chan? She nods her head without hesitation, ready for yet another torture session. So Vala-chan, I am going to Tokyo tomorrow, Naruto says as he sips at the soup in front of him. He hears something snap and looks up at the blank face, but the broken spoon in her hand displays her anger. She really hates Naruto traveling, even when she is with him. He honestly thinks that if she could, she would have locked him up here forever. Do you want to come? He asks, and her fists slowly unclench as she nods her head. Yes. I would like that very much, Vala says quietly. You should know by now that I am not going to abandon you. You're a precious person to me, Vala-chan, Naruto tells her. Vala flushes slightly in embarrassment. I know you won't, Sensei. Still, I don't want anyone to take you away from me, Vala mumbles out. Relax, Vala-chan. That isn't going to happen, Naruto says reassuringly. Naruto's phone goes off in the middle dinner. Naruto gets up and goes to answer it, as not many have his phone number. Hello? Naruto asks. Hey Naruto, it's me, Azazel. How are you doing? I am good, thanks. What's this about? Need your first favor? No, not yet, ha ha ha. I just thought I should give you a heads up. Freya came to the Grigori and asked me for your location. I told her as I was hoping to get on her good side and possibly woo her, but it didn't work. Anyways, she will probably be there soon. Have fun tonight getting more source material, you lucky bastard. The call ends and Naruto looks at the phone in bewilderment. Why the hell would Freya be asking for him? Yeah, they spent a night together, but that's it. Sensei, what's wrong? Vala questions as she sees the look on his face. Apparently, Freya is coming here, he says, and he hears another snap as Vala just broke yet another spoon. Seriously, what did the spoons ever do to her? Vala takes a few deep breaths and examines her options. Obviously, that bitch is coming for her sensei to take him away. That is not allowed to happen, but she can't beat Freya in a fight and Naruto won't fight her without reason. Option 1. Convince sensei to leave with her right now, but she doubts that will happen as he is curious. Option 2. Lie and try to make sensei mad enough at Freya to fight her. That option is out as it will be seen through and ruin her relationship with sensei. Option 3. Try to assert dominance over Freya through conversation and make her realize sensei will never be hers. Guess it is option 3 for now. One day I'll beat that bitch into the ground for what she tried to do, Vala thinks to herself. A knock on the door draws their attention. Naruto makes his way over there with Vala right on his heels. He opens the door and lo and behold, Freya is there in all her usual glory. Hello darling, she purrs out, getting Naruto's eyes to widen in shock. I have come for you. She walks right into his home, brushing past both of them with a sensual strut. Freya, what are you doing here? Naruto asks as he shuts the door behind him. Freya tilts her head cutely with confusion on her face. What do you ever mean, darling? I came here so we can be together, of course, Freya says happily. Now let's celebrate by going to the bedroom. Naruto gets a small perverted smile on his face as he thinks back to the night they spent together. She certainly knows what she is doing. Then he grimaces as to exactly why she knows. Freya, Vala-chan and I are eating dinner right now, so I can't humor your request, Naruto informs her, and Vala gets a small smile and hugs his arm to her chest. Freya, for the first time, looks at her with narrow eyes. Weren't you a small child before? She questions as Vala, even though she is 14, looks like a developing 16-year-old now. I was, but I have my devil genetics to thank for this. Apparently, we go through puberty pretty fast to get our seductive bodies, Vala says with a small smile. Still, she frowns at Freya's much larger chest size. She only has double B cups now. Ah well, that doesn't change the fact that you are an innocent and inexperienced child, Freya says with a slight chuckle. I'd rather be that than to have experienced all the men in the 9 realms, Vala says with a smirk, as she holds onto sensei tighter. Naruto looks at Vala in shock, his eyes tracing over to Freya, who looks like she wants to annihilate Vala from the planet. Oh. Sensei. They both look over to the man who karate chopped them in the head with tears in their eyes. I don't want a fight breaking out in the house. Freya, you are welcome to stay for dinner with us, but after that you should probably leave, Naruto informs her as walks past her back toward the kitchen. Vala gives her a victory sign before heading after him. Freya takes a couple of deep, calming breaths to control her temper and doesn't act on the urge to kill the child. Her darling would definitely not like her then. She follows them calmly into the kitchen, where she sees darling set out another plate for her. Thank you, darling, she says as she sits down gracefully. She gets a tiny smirk as she sees Naruto's eye glance over her body. Why do you call me darling? Naruto questions as he begins to eat some of his steak. Vala listens on intently as she chews her food. What else would I call a man that can make me feel the way that I do? Freya responds back. All we did is spend a night together, Naruto says with a slight blush. Talking about his sex life, especially in front of Vala, is weird. Exactly. The best night of my life. Freya proclaims and Naruto's blush intensifies. That is quite the compliment. Thank you, but I don't think that means I am your darling, Naruto stammers. Oh, but you are, Freya says with a gleam in her eye. She reaches out and grabs his hand, another utensil snapping in Vala's hand. The nights here must be so lonely with only your disciple. Maybe I could help out with that, she says seductively. Naruto gulps as the last time he had sex was with her. It's not like they are in a relationship or anything if they do, right? Sensei, didn't you say that Freya has to leave after dinner? Vala asks neutrally, but the tenseness in her body betrays her tone. Come on, Sensei, I promise I will be good, especially to you, Freya whispers huskily with lust clearly in her tone. All right, Freya, you can stay, Naruto says, getting a happy squeal from the goddess. Vala stands up abruptly. I am going to bed, Vala says and runs up the stairs. Naruto makes to follow after her, but Freya stops him. Don't worry about her, darling. She will be fine tomorrow, Freya tells him. Naruto glances up the steps, but he brushes away his concerns. Vala is a strong girl and she knows he isn't going to abandon her. Naruto looks back to the goddess, who has since removed her clothing and closes the distance between them. Why don't we get started right here? Freya says before she captures his lips with her own, relishing in their soft feel. Her tongue slips into his mouth, starting their mini battle, till she ultimately wins out, her superior experience giving her the edge. She pulls back, with lust shining in her eyes, and rips the clothes from his body. She gets a naughty grin as she feels something poking her in the leg. It seems someone is eager, Freya says as one of her hands grips the object firmly, as she stares directly into her darling's eyes. You have no idea, Naruto says before he hungrily captures her lips. Grunts and sounds of pleasure echo through the entire house that night. Nobody got a single wink of sleep. Vala walks down the stairs tired. When she ran up to her room last night, she was angry. Angry at the goddess trying to take away her sensei. Angry at her sensei for letting her spend the night. Angry at everything. She knew that they were going to fuck, and it meant another opportunity for that bitch to steal her sensei. She soon heard the moans of pleasure from Freya and the grunts of her sensei. She heard them shout and the smacking of flesh together. Those sounds rapidly ate away at her anger until it left something else in its place: arousal. She was aroused by her sensei fucking. She had never really considered her sensei like that before. She knew she loved him and was extremely possessive, but as a potential romantic interest? No, the thought had crossed her mind. She is only 14 years old after all. Still, once the thought of her sensei like that got implanted in her head last night, she couldn't stop imagining her as the one being fucked by her sensei. Her screams instead of Freya's. It made her arousal go to new extremes. She needed a release, and so, last night Vala discovered the art of masturbation. Damn her devil genes. Afterwards, she spent the rest of the night thinking about her sensei. Would he accept her feelings? Does he feel the same way? Can she make him feel that way? Thoughts like that made any escape to sleep impossible. In her mind, she had already disregarded the age gap in her young age. He is only 4 years older than her, which in the supernatural world is extremely close. Hell, Freya is thousands of years older than her sensei, and they still did it. Her body is nearing that of a fully grown woman, and already looks 16, so she doesn't have to worry about that. Besides, sensei is hers. She will do with him what she wants. Still, she wants his affection back. So, the main problem is going to be making her sensei look at her as a woman and not as his student. She has no idea how she is going to do that. Flaunting herself in front of him? Be direct and kiss him? As she gets to the end of the stairs, she sees Naruto and Freya already at the table eating breakfast. Both look like they have a slight afterglow from last night. The first thing she needs to do is to make sure that Freya doesn't get the chance to steal his heart. Even if that means certain sacrifices have to be made. Hatchling, you do know that powerful men usually have many mates. It's how the supernatural world works, Albion says. I didn't, to be honest. I will have to think on that too, Vala thinks to herself as she sits down. The battle for Naruto's heart has just begun. You okay, Vala? It looks like you didn't get enough sleep, Freya says innocently, getting a scowl from Vala. Naruto, meanwhile, blushes as red as a tomato. Sorry about that, Vala-chan, Naruto says as he nervously rubs the back of his head. Kurama is howling in laughter inside him. It's fine, sensei. Are we still going to Tokyo? Vala asks as she fake yawns. She needs to make her sensei feel bad and then she can get him to do whatever she wants. Like leaving Freya here. Of course. I am always up for traveling, Naruto says happily. Maybe one day you would like to come see my realm? It's very beautiful, Freya asks with a smile. Yeah. We would love to, right, Vala-chan? Naruto says. Sure. Though we have to still get in our practice, Vala says, wanting to delay that trip as long as possible. Well, darling, I unfortunately have to go back and manage my realm as I have spent a long time searching for you. They are probably getting nervous and such. I will be back when I can, Freya says as she gives him a soft kiss on the lips, winks, and leaves via a magic circle. The sight of Freya leaving brings a smile on her lips and she voraciously eats the rest of her meal. She stretches her aching muscles and realizes that she doesn't feel hindered when moving anymore. Sensei, I need you to raise my seal level, Vala says, and she takes off her jacket and maroon t-shirt. She is wearing a lacy brow that definitely shows off her assets. Naruto nods and takes out some of his ink. He channels chakra into her, causing her to shiver, and the seal releases. He paints on 8 and reseals it. She worked her ass off to get through levels 5, 6, and 7 the past 2 months. She pouts as he doesn't so much as even ogle her for a second. Hatchling, his view of you is of a 14-year-old, and a disciple. That isn't something you will change easily, Albion says. You are going to support me in pursuing him? Vala asks a little surprised. I have had many hosts before you, Hatchling. Both men and women. They all had partners before. Some of them had harems. A couple of those were women. I don't judge. You are my host, so I am going to support you all the way. I only want Sensei. There is no need for anyone else, Vala vehemently says. You may think differently one day, Albion comments before going silent. Vala rolls her eyes at that comment. As if. You ready, Vala-chan? Naruto asks. Yes, but don't you need to make your clones? Already did when you were talking to Albion, Naruto says with a chuckle. Vala blushes in embarrassment as she was unaware of her surroundings, the one thing her sensei has been torturing into knowing. Well, let's go, Naruto says and teleports them to the outskirts of Tokyo. He looks around and finds that it's mostly the same as Berlin. Tall buildings dominate the landscape with little in the way of nature. He wouldn't ever want to live here, but he doesn't mind visiting. As they walk down the street, Vala grabs his hand, intertwining it with her own. She notices several of the looks sent Sensei's way and has to withhold herself from sending ki at them. She also gets a couple looks her way, but she just moves closer to Sensei. Where are we going? She asks as she squeezes his hand for attention. Not sure, honestly. Let's just walk around, Naruto says while shrugging. They walk around for a couple of hours just looking around, a bit of shopping as Naruto wanted to get a kimono, orange of course, and Vala grabs a deep blue one, and eating various things. Vala enjoys everything immensely as she gets to spend time alone with her sensei in a date-like scenario. Soon they reach an area with many different people dressed in really strange clothing. On the billboards, they see ads for anime shows and manga with those characters wearing the same clothing. Naruto looks on amused and vaguely interested, as there were several comics back in his world like that. His eyes land on a huge billboard and he drops his jaw. Vala feels him stop and looks at him curiously. What's wrong, sensei? Naruto points at the giant billboard with shock written all over his face. That's Seraphal Leviathan, he says. Vala looks up and sees the childlike image, but she is definitely an adult with her chest and the panties showing. She is wearing her pink magical girl outfit, giving a wink to everyone. Vala privately admits that she is extremely beautiful, maybe even rivaling Freya. That horrible, horrible outfit, Naruto says with a shudder. How the hell can a leader wear that? It seems she stars in a popular magic girl show, Vala says as she reads the ad. No doubt. She can actually use magic, Naruto comments. It reminds him of his time in the land of snow. Getting his first kiss, the one with Sasuke, did not count, from Koiki was certainly memorable. Well, I am certainly glad that you ran away, Sensei, Vala says as she hugs his arm. I would probably be dead or worse without you. Yeah, I am glad I didn't stay too, he says as he ruffles her hair. I am going to throw up here, Kid Kurama says as he gags. Shut up, you fuzzbutt. We were having a moment there, Naruto yells in his mind. Whatever. Wake me up if anything interesting happens, Kurama says as he goes to sleep. Naruto rolls his eyes at his lazy friend. Pretty much all Kurama does is sleep. In fact, Kurama once told him that he slept for 50 years. Come on, Vala-chan. Let's get out of this area. I'd rather not see any more photos of her dressed like that, he says and quickly drags her out of there. A couple minutes walk away, they spot the shrine Sensoji to Kanon, a goddess of mercy. They were about to walk onto the grounds when they both get a shudder up their spines. Naruto's instincts tell him to be wary of the area in front of him. Hey Vala-chan, did you feel that? Naruto asks. Yes, sensei. It felt like that one time we went around a church, Vala says. I didn't know it applied to other places of worship as well. I guess we shouldn't go in, Naruto says with a small frown. It was the first cool building they had found in the city too. Are you sure, sensei? I don't mind, Vala asks. Naruto thinks about it for a moment. No, we shouldn't. It might be taken wrong and start a fight. I'd rather avoid a needless one for now with you here. Sensei, I can protect myself, Vala pouts. Yes, you can, my little disciple. Still, you are inexperienced and that kills as many people as anything else, Naruto says sagely. I fight you every day. How does that not count as experience? She asks. 1. We only fight using taijutsu. The reason for this is that a vast majority of fights will devolve into this type of fight. You are certainly getting better, but against people that could potentially be hundreds of years old, it's not nearly close enough. You are also young and your strength isn't fully developed. We also haven't developed your own specific fighting style yet. 2. We aren't fighting to the death. There are some lessons that you can only learn in these types of fights. 3. You haven't fought against someone with abnormal abilities yet. I would have died when I was 13 from one of these people, if she hadn't been kind-hearted. I can replicate this, but again, we have been only fighting with taijutsu. Vala mutters as she doesn't know how to argue against that. Don't worry, I have a plan. We are going to stop your physical training in the morning soon, and use that time in sparring with taijutsu. Continue with our magic practice. Finish with you fighting against a variety of abilities and power levels. We will also be hunting down strays for you to kill and any bad fallen or devils we can find, Naruto informs her. That sounds like a higher version of torture, Vala deadpans. So instead of her getting her ass kicked for 3 hours a day, it's going to be for 7+ hours now. Yup. Nothing you can't handle, Naruto says with a smile. She gives him a fake scowl, getting him to chuckle. So, can I use my sacred gear then? Vala asks hopefully. Nope. Ugh. Fate looks at the string with a slight frown adorning her beautiful face as she floats above a sea of strings of all different sizes that represents her world tapestry. Normally, when someone thinks of a tapestry, they think of a neat, orderly picture made up of finely woven strings, but for Fate, this isn't the case. Below her is a convoluted soup of everyone's destiny that only she can control, manipulate, or read. Fortunately for everyone, she is usually just content on letting things play out naturally. She feels a slight disturbance in her dimension as it seems someone has come to visit her. Not an easy feat considering the wards surrounding the dimension to keep others out as well as intruding upon her home. She won't hesitate to defend this place at all costs, with only a few in existence that could stand up to her. This time, however, Fate recognizes the person immediately and a small smile adorns her face. She won't call them friends, but friendly acquaintances as their lines of responsibilities are interconnected. She waits, looking at the orange string still curled up in her hands, as the other presents makes their way over to her. As soon as they get close, her golden eyes look up to see another beautiful, 25-year-old woman that radiates an aura of finality and strictness. Her long black hair cascades down her back while her piercing brown eyes stare at Fate. If Fate was anyone else, she would have flinched. She is wearing a black blazer with a white button-down and black tie along with a black skirt that goes down to her mid-thigh. Underneath are black stockings with black heels adorning her feet. What's up, Death? Fate asks casually. I noticed you left your realm recently, and I want to know why, Death says in a no-nonsense tone. Straight to the point, eh? I found something interesting in the Norse pantheon, Fate says as her eyes glance down at the orange string. Death's eyes narrow. The last time you said that was when you caused the biblical god to die, and then looked at your world tapestry. You better not be planning to do something like that again, Death threatens. Fate rolls her golden orbs. No, I just found an interesting individual. Powerful too. So much so that I can't directly interfere with his destiny, Fate says, slightly surprising Death. How is there someone that powerful you didn't know about before? You have been around since the beginning like me, Death questions. She hates not knowing something. That's because he just appeared here from a different universe. Having seen what he has gone through, well, my interest is slightly piqued. I haven't ever had something this fun to do in a long time, Fate says with a giggle. You better not be doing anything that will drastically change the future or else, Death warns. Yeah, whatever, Fate waves her off dismissively. Death teleports away while curiosity sparkles in Fate's eyes. Now what to do to you first, Fate asks out loud till she gets a smile on her face. I know! She exclaims and starts feeding the orange string into her world tapestry while moving and tying another to it. All the while her giggles can be heard throughout her dimension. Revel Phoenix is not having a good day. First, her hair was not cooperating with her this morning, making her late to the family breakfast, and her mother scolded her for being late. Then, her Oni-sama, Riser Phoenix, invited her to go to the human realm with him as he has been trying to recruit 2 Nikomata to his peerage as he wants cat girls for his harem. Honestly, when he flaunts that he has a harem so openly, no wonder that Rias Gremory is adamant about not marrying him. She went with him, and what does he do? He abandons her to go have sex with them to celebrate adding them to his peerage. Okasama will be angry when she finds out. Still, she decides to explore a little bit as she doesn't want to hear anything. While she walks around and looks at everything, she ended up getting lost. As she walks down a side street back to where she thinks her brother is, a magic barrier goes up around her that prevents humans from entering and her from sending out communications or teleporting away. Of course, if she had high enough magical power, she could break through the barrier and teleport, but she doesn't. Why train when you are immortal? She finds herself surrounded by 3 devils, each having magical reserves on the higher end of mid-class devil level, which is above hers by a bit. It would be way more if not for her great genes from her parents. It looks like we have caught a little bird, one of them says with a sinister grin. I think Leviathan-sama will be most pleased, another says. I am Revel Phoenix. My family knows Mao Leviathan personally, so stop this, Revel says, trying to project confidence. All the devils start laughing at her pitiful attempt. We meant the true Leviathan, little girl. Caitlin Leviathan. One of them sneers out, and her eyes widen in shock. These devils were with the old Mao faction. What do you want from me? She stammers out fearfully. Well, we are going to force you to produce tears for us, and we are going to breed you, one of them says darkly with a chuckle. Ravel's face goes pale as she knows what that means. Stay back. My brother is here. He will kill you all if you so much as touch me, Ravel shouts at the top of her lungs as she takes a step back from the one talking. You mean the brother that is currently several miles away having sex? One chuckles. I think not. The first devil launches himself at Ravel, who lets out an eep of fear and sends out a weak fireball at him. The devil calmly dodges it before punching her, sending her back as she lets out a shout of pain. Ravel quickly climbs to her feet, with tears in her eyes, and starts launching fireballs at her opponents, who all laugh and calmly dodge them. One of the devils gets behind her and sends a blast of water magic at her, sending her flying and doused in water. This time she lets out a scream of pain as it hurts really bad, even if she can heal her body. She tries to get up and flee, only for a leg to kick her squarely in the stomach. Tears run down her face as they laugh at her. This isn't supposed to happen. She is an immortal phoenix. How can she be losing? Well, I think it's time we ended this farce, boys, the leader of the 3 says as he walks toward her. She cries even harder, as she knows she can't do anything right now. Please, somebody save me! She screams out in her mind, closing her eyes just as the man is about to stomp on her head. Suddenly, an enormous killing intent floods the field, and the devil about to kick her jumps away as he barely avoids a fireball. The other 2 aren't so lucky and get engulfed by a fire dragon. Their screams only last for a second until they only remain as charred corpses. The devil that narrowly dodged his death looks bewildered and a bit frightened after seeing his comrades easily die. He sees a blonde teen standing in front of the Phoenix girl now, who points to the side. He glances over and his eyes widen before he is engulfed by a fire dragon as well, not even getting time to curse his opponents in his head before he dies. You can open your eyes. They are gone now, a voice in front of her says. She peeks through her eyelids, seeing a handsome blonde teen giving her a soft smile and a hand. She blushes as she takes the hand and pulls herself up off the ground. She can feel that he is a powerful devil and his image looks familiar to her. Her eyes glance around and see another girl, a devil as well, who looks around 16 with silver hair and piercing blue eyes. The girl quickly moves herself to be beside the blonde, and gives her a hard stare. Then she sees 3 charred corpses and she immediately turns a little green. Whoa, easy there, Ojo-sama. It's fine now. You will be fine, the blonde says soothingly. She takes a moment to swallow the bile threatening to come out of her throat, and gives the blonde a hug with a shaky nod, tears still coming out but they are now in relief. Thank you for saving me, she cries out as she sobs louder. Her savior just shushes her and rubs her hand on her back comfortingly. No problem. We happened to be in the area and noticed the magic barrier keeping humans out, the blonde says. As she steps away after finally getting herself under control, she takes a closer look and notices his 3 whisker marks on each cheek. She squints her eyes in confusion as she is sure that she knows this person. Is something wrong? The silver-haired girl asks. Ravel shakes her head. No, nothing wrong, it's just you look very familiar to me. Please excuse my manners, Savior Samus. My name is Ravel Phoenix, she says as she curtsies slightly. My name is Uzumaki Naruto, the blonde says with a smile. Ravel's eyes widen in shock and a little fear as everyone in the underworld knows of him. The stray SS-class devil from Mao Leviathan's peerage. The blonde's smile turns into a frown. Hey, you don't have to fear me, Ravel-chan. I am not going to do anything to hurt you, he reassures her. She nods slightly, a little less afraid, and looks over to the other girl. I am Vala, disciple of my sensei, she says, inclining her head to the blonde so that she knows who her sensei is. Naruto smiles and creates 2 clones to deal with the damage. Ravel's eyes widen slightly as she heard rumors that he had such an ability. So, Revel-chan, what brings you to Tokyo today? Naruto asks her with a smile. Well, Naruto-sama, I am here with my brother. He is taking care of other business right now, so I thought I'd walk around a bit. Then these devils from the old Mao faction showed up and were planning on kidnapping me, Revel says, shuddering slightly. Vala scowls at hearing the name of that group. The old Mao faction, huh? First time I have ran into them. Pathetically weak though. That does beg the question, have you ever trained in your life? I caught the tail end of that fight, and it was horrendous, Naruto asks. Revel, offended, says, I am a phoenix. We are immortal, so there is no reason to train. Both Naruto and Vala deadpan her before Vala starts snickering. You do realize you just lost, right? And since they were going to kidnap you and you're a girl, what could possibly happen, right? Naruto adds on a little heatedly. Revel flushes a bit at the first question before paling at the second. She can still hear the words, we are going to breed you, that one devil said. She shudders again, the world feeling a lot less warm than it used to. Well, at least you realized what can happen to you before it's too late. Some girls never get that chance, Naruto says with a slightly haunted look. He remembers clearing some bandit camps, and the dead-eyed look the women that were kidnapped had. How am I supposed to beat them? I just turned 13, Revel complains, not feeling scared at all in the blonde's presence anymore, even though she knew she should. It's hard to be scared of your savior after all. Pointing his thumb at Valley, Naruto says she just turned 14, and she would have easily crushed those three without any problem. She's only 14? I would at least have thought 16, Revel shouts as she looks at Vala. Vala smiles a bit at the compliment. Is that really what you are taking away from this? Naruto deadpans her. He shakes his head. Regardless, Revel-chan, you should definitely train to at least have the power to protect yourself. Find yourself a sensei. Naruto turns around to leave, his clones having already done their job of fixing up the signs of the battle. Wait! Revel cries out, seeing that her savior is leaving. Naruto turns his head and raises an eyebrow, silently asking what she wants. See, can you train me? She squeaks out, getting Naruto to turn around with both his eyebrows raised and Vala to stiffen on the spot. Why are you asking me, who you know is a stray devil and just met, to train you? He questions. What do you mean why? You should be honored that a lady such as I would even ask such a thing of you, she says with haughtiness. Naruto immediately turns around and continues walking, not even giving her a response. Wait. It's because you are strong and seem to be a good person even if you are a stray. Like one of those bedtime stories my Okasama used to read me about a prince saving the princess, she mutters out with a blush, but they still hear it. Vala clenches her fist. What about your family? Won't they not like the idea? It'll be fine. I can work it out, Revel promises him. It'll be the hardest thing of your life. No problem. I guess it wouldn't be a problem to take on another student, Naruto mumbles to himself before nodding his head. Okay, but we do things my way, you promise to keep our secrets, and if you quit once you are out. I can do that, Revel says with a nod. Sensei, Vala says loudly, drawing their stares. You are my sensei. Not hers. Naruto goes over to her and pets her on the head, getting her to calm down slightly. Vala-chan, it's okay. I am not replacing you and I am not going anywhere. I think this could be good for you too, having someone roughly your age to talk to and another sparring partner. I will do anything you want, within reason of course, Naruto says to her. Fine, Vala concedes. It's really hard for her to say no to her sensei anyway. Besides, this might help her deal with her Freya problem. Alright, Revel-chan. Looks like you are all set. Do you have a way to contact you? Naruto asks. She summons a contract slip and hands it to him. Channel your magic into that, and I will meet you wherever, Revel explains. That's convenient. I will summon you tomorrow morning. Pack enough clothes to last an entire month. Make sure they are warm, Naruto says as he waves goodbye. The magical barrier that he set up, just on the outside of the old one, fades away. Revel watches the two of them go, specifically the blonde, with a small smile on her face. I am glad I thought of that on the spot to see him again. It really was just like the stories, the way he saved me. Now I have to somehow convince Okasama and Otosama to let me go away for a month, Revel thinks to herself. She teleports herself back home, not even caring about her Oni-sama at the moment, as she has much bigger things to worry about. Arriving in front of her family home, as the home itself doesn't allow anyone to teleport directly into it, and only main family Phoenix members and their peerages can teleport in front of the main door. The rest have to go to the guardhouse. She walks through the front doors into the reception area of the house, that has marble floors, gold-plated trim, priceless artwork around, and a massive crystal chandelier hanging from the ceiling. She sees a maid cleaning the corner and walks up to her. "Welcome back, Ravel-sama," the maid says as she bows. "Where is my Oka-sama?" "Lady Phoenix-sama, I believe, is out in the garden," the maid answers politely. "Thanks," Ravel says as she quickly walks to the garden. She wants to run, but her mother would scold her and tell her that a lady isn't supposed to run in the house. It takes her 10 minutes to finally reach the garden, where she sees her mother, the woman she gets her looks from, reading a book in the gazebo. "Oka-sama," Ravel calls out, getting her mother's attention. Ravel can't wait to grow up and look exactly like her mother. Her long curly blonde hair that flows down to her waist, and her body that looks amazing with a chest any woman would be proud of. It's no wonder why her mom is regarded as beautiful even among devil standards. "Ah, Ravel," her mother says with a smile, closing the book that she is reading and placing it down. "Your brother's business is already completed in the human world?" Ravel scrounges up her face slightly. "I have no idea," she says honestly. "What do you mean?" Lady Phoenix questions with an eyebrow raised. "Well, I was with him and the twin Nikomata accepted his offer to join his peerage. After they finished the ritual, Riser told me to leave for a while so that he could have some fun with them. I walked around town for a while, until several old malfaction devils tried to kidnap me," she says, getting a horrified gasp from her mother.